everyone, this is Matthew Riddle, the king of bros. I just want to say, if you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast.
Yo, listen, this is the best wrestler alive, Platinum Match, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling podcast. This is the original Illuminati, and you're watching and listening to We Are Wrestling podcast.
We Are Wrestling podcast. Check them out, man.
Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie might teach you a thing or two.
We Are Wrestling podcast.
We Are Wrestling.
All right, Chris Jericho here, and we're going to listen to and watch We Are Wrestling.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Mavis, and the facts are, I steal all my information from right here. We Are Wrestling.
Everywhere I go, there's nowhere I belong. And anyone should tell me why. 'Cause everywhere I go,
the grind is real.
Let me fill you in on something. You know, it's funny, I was told that Ricky knows best. Let me fill you in on something. I don't care who the number one contender is, because this belt isn't going anywhere. Be it Casual Cam, you just survived the P. Diddy party, congratulations. Go hawk some shit at the flea market and stay out of my fucking league. I don't care if it's Jungle Boy, the AEW Jungle Boy, or just some other guy who wants to call himself Jungle Boy. It's kind of weird that a grown man wants to copy a gimmick and name himself Jungle Boy, but we don't have time for that right now. Or be it Scotty 2 Hotty 2.0, the internet rapper who likes to rap about stuff, who watches your podcast. I don't care who the fuck this is, because this is mine. Let the forever reign begin, bitches. Let me fill you in on something. This ain't going nowhere.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie here, and not still champion. I'm here with...
And new We Are Wrestling Predictions champion, Dan Eddy, introducing myself. And I'm introducing the former champion, Mr. Best One Donnie. Or, I mean, second best one Donnie. Well, no, you were third, actually. You were third best.
Don't even get me started.
Oh, my gosh. What happened there?
I'm still trying to figure out what happened. Almost a week later.
Hey, we were in the group chat. And if you guys don't know, the Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio match solidified my championship reign. And so we were talking in the group chat earlier, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I mentioned Danhausen. And when I was to Danny Huckins, I was like, so does Danhausen give you PTSD now, or is it cool? Like, too soon?
Well, guys, if you've been hiding under a rock and you weren't a part of SummerSlam weekend, Dan Eddy is the new We Are Wrestling World Predictions Champion. And also, Old School Phil is the first We Are Wrestling Thunder Champion.
Congrats, Phil. Saw
Which,
that segment, dude.
Not, ladies and gentlemen, there will be no toy title this time around for Dan Eddy because the title has been shipped out.
Ooh, I was about to ask you, because you asked for my address if you shipped it today or not. I'm excited to see it. I'll record myself the reaction, seeing it for the first time. Because I think the original plan was I was going to travel there and for us all to hang out, and then I would see the actual title itself, like live. But Yeah, but this way I'll get a reaction. I'm excited to see it like in person finally, not just behind you all the time or stashed away in Danny Huckins' closet. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Well,
gonna
guys,
clear out
we got-
spoiler alert. I'm gonna clear this out by the time I'll be back, and I'll have it, a nice little blanket, shining, spit shine, just to stare at you the whole time.
Well, at least when Danny was champion, I didn't have to see the title, so it didn't have to pain me. But we got a stacked episode lined up this week, episode 220. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're listening to this episode wherever you get your podcast, leave us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download this episode. Give us a follow, but if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you're already over on the YouTube channel, where you get the best premium pro wrestling content. You get the video version of the We Are Wrestling podcast live every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. You get live watch-alongs for all the AEW pay-per-views, WWE PLEs, vlogs, reactions, nothing but premium pro wrestling content, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers. We recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos and live streams be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know the grind is real.
Definitely.
And I think it's time that we acknowledge some We Are Wrestling Maniacs who are here in the live chat. We got Bradley here. Here we go. Alex Johnson, what's up, everybody? I acknowledge Donnie as my tribal chief. I appreciate you not turning your back on me, Alex, even though I did lose my championship. We got Destry here hanging out. We got Tyrus, so it's Phil knows best now.
Ooh,
I don't know. Maybe.
Too soon, Tyrus. Too soon.
Might be a little too soon. I hope Ricky doesn't stomp his way in here during the live, but who knows?
He's just gonna show up behind you one day
when you're live. We got James all day here hanging out. We got a bunch of We Are Wrestling Maniacs, but this week, man, it's going to be SummerSlam 2026 reviews. But of course, we got to cover a lot of the news that we missed as well. A lot has happened on wrestling television this week as well. And we also have a bonus Power of the Poll to make up from last week's not having one. So we might as well start off with our Power of the Poll. Actually, hold on a minute. Before we do that, of course, we are a wrestling podcast, and we want to send our condolences to Dory Funk Jr.'s family and friends during this time. Former NWA World Heavyweight Champion sadly passed away earlier this week. And we just want to send our condolences to the wrestling community. Dory Funk is a legend. The Funk family, you guys all know Terry. Well, Dory was just as good. And, of course, we got to mention it and send our condolences. I actually just reviewed his very first figure, too. And it just came out on the Best One Donnie YouTube channel. So if you guys want to see his very first WWE Mattel figure, you can check that video out over on the Best One Donnie YouTube channel. But with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling Podcast Power of the Poll. Every week, we tell you guys to go over to the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, go to our community tab. That is where you can stay up to date with everything that's going on in the We Are Wrestling universe. New video links, power of the polls, and, of course, updates on things that are happening with the pod, if something's moving or whatever it is. With our Power of the Poll, every week you get 1 week to think about your vote, and you get to cast it. And we're going back to the early 2010s because we asked you guys last week, what's the best reality/game show in the early 2010s? And the 4 options you guys had were the game show NXT, Total Divas, Tough Enough, which happened in 2011 and 2015, and of course, the WWE Legends House, which was WWE Network exclusive. Here are the results for this week's Power of the Poll. it is. Tough Enough winning with 55% of you guys, while second place went to Total Divas with 31%. 8% picked the game show NXT, and 7% picked the Legends House. All right, Dan Eddy, do we agree with this week's Power of the Poll?
I do, because outside of Total Divas and Tough Enough, I don't quite remember the other two, the NXT and the Legends House. Tough Enough out of these four was the one I watched the most, so I agree with which ones they got right. And then as far as like the margins, like the percentages, I think it's sort of accurate, because I think Tough Enough was probably the biggest show that they had. Total Divas, I watched it for a little while just because I was kind of going through a slump when Jersey Shore wasn't on, so I needed some of that, trashy drama TV.
Me too. And Eddy gave me so much hate for watching Total Divas and being a fan of it.
I mean, why would you get shit for watching Total Divas? Like, it's stuff.
That's what I'm
good
saying.
Stuff. So I never watched the NXT one. Congrats that it's third. Legends House, I completely forgot about. Like, it was like erased from my memory, like overall. So I don't remember it all. So I think they got it right in order and percentage wise.
I really did enjoy all four of these shows. I am a huge reality TV game show junkie outside of the wrestling and sports world. I enjoy MTV The Challenge. I enjoy CBS Survivor. And I also enjoyed all four of these shows. Like, I actually did like the game show NXT a whole lot better than friggin' what the WWE ECW was at that time. So that was, like, really cool and fresh. Also, like, getting the Nexus out of season 1 of NXT, the game show, like, I really did enjoy that. Total Divas, always enjoyed that show as well, because you really got to see a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff outside of the ring. And I thought it was really cool, like especially following Nikki and John Cena's relationship, because of course John Cena at the time was my favorite wrestler, my childhood hero. So it was cool seeing like all his cars and mansions, and then seeing him be like a total asshole to Nikki. But, like, I really just overall enjoyed Total Divas as a show. Like, it was, like, trashy, and it was perfect, like, after Jersey Shore would be on, like, break. Then you get into Tough Enough. I loved 2011 Tough Enough. I don't think it gets talked about enough, because I do think the winner was the wrong decision, because it was between this guy, Andy, and Luke. And, dude, I was rooting for Luke that entire season, and he lost. And I think that was the wrong call. Like, I think he could have been a huge superstar in the business.
You know more than me, because I forgot about that too. I just remember watching it and some of the obstacles that they had. So if you guys, for those who don't know, I grew up running. So I did cross country and track in high school. And as I grew older, I got more interested in those like Spartan races. You know, like I did a Tough Mudder back in 2014. I wish I could do another one again too, because that was really fun. But the Tough Enough show kind of reminded me of that, because it's like the course is like anywhere from 10 to 12 miles, but they have military style courses, you know, filtered in every now and then. So I got interested in that show right away, because some of the obstacles are the exact same. So, and plus it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like anything with him in it, I'm gonna. Dude, I'll mark the fuck out for Stone Cold.
Which I did like, because the cool thing about like the 2011 spinoff of Tough Enough, I liked that they lived in the house, like it was like a barn with like the ring, and they all did have like the spinner WWE championship, and pretty much like the judges, Stone Cold, Bill DeMott, Booker T, Trish Stratus, they would take that WWE championship from the person that they were eliminating. And also Cameron from the Funkadactyls. That's where she was a part of Tough Enough, and she was the first one eliminated, and she's the only one that got a contract out of all of them, which is insane to think about.
Honestly, why aren't they doing that now? Why aren't they bringing back Tough Enough? Do you realize how much talent is in that roster right now?
I wish that they would. I think the 2015 one, I wasn't a big fan of that. They tried like doing it within real time, and they didn't really do a lot like reality TV wise because it was like somewhat taped, but also not taped at the same time. You had to follow the social medias. But the 2011 Tough Enough, I'm surprised we didn't get another one of those. But yeah, I'm still mad about Luke, man. I am still pissed about him getting robbed. Still to this day, because the dude is he was the best. There's like, you know, like the S tier to like F tier. A lot of people like to do that. Dude, Luke
I do that all the
was
time
S
in
tier.
fantasy football.
Luke was S tier. Everybody else, like, it was like B or C. That's how much of a difference it was. But then we get into the Legends House. I love the WWE Network original series, and I thought it was fun. But I do agree, I think, with the Maniacs on... Actually, no, I think I'm going to... Nah, I agree with the Maniacs on this one. 2011 Tough Enough was one of my favorite reality shows WWE did. But I love Total Divas as well at the same time.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I was a lonely college kid, so that's slight reason why I watched it. But then again, it was, you know, just trashy reality TV. And like I said, I watched it with Jersey Shore. But remember... I think it's like, was it early 2000s? Those MTV reality shows like
2000s.
Next and like Room Raiders and all those. I'm showing my age now, damn. But yeah, those shows I watched too. I was laughing at Tyrus's comment. It says Total Divas' scripts were much better than Tough Enough's. With Tough Enough, you barely need a script. I mean, yeah, it was, you know, like an obstacle course, you know. But there's still some drama in there, so I don't really think you needed a script.
But you see, reason
it's definitely not as much as Total Divas.
Yeah, but you see, the reason why I liked the Tough Enough script more than the Total Divas is because it felt more real because they were competing for a contract. The women were already WWE superstars, like while they were filming Total Divas. Yeah. But like, I did enjoy like both shows. Like, I enjoyed all 4 of these shows actually. But Total Divas, man, that's so underrated still to this day, I think. But Tough Enough, I got to go with.
It's crazy to think about how, like, out of everybody on that show, Total Divas, and where they're at now. It's crazy to think about.
Ooh, and also another thing that should be mentioned, too, about the 2015 Tough Enough. If you go onto YouTube, WWE posted a lot of these tryouts. And, like, there's a lot of, like, stars that are big right now. Like, one of them, for example, MJF. He did a little video, and this is when he first got into the business. And then I always remembered, like, seeing... There was this one guy in the Independents. This is a funny story I'll share real quick. His name was Cam Zagabi. And, like, he was, like, this arrogant, cocky prick. That was, like, this character. And pretty much, like, he didn't get picked to go on Tough Enough. But he was wrestling in the Northeast area. So I went to a Northeast wrestling show. This is like 2018 probably. And I went to the show to beat the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll, who were a part of Bullet Club at the time. But there was a bunch of other wrestlers in the hallways to beat. And I had $20 left because I spent a lot of money beating people. And it was between 2 people I could have met. Cam Zagabi or Matt Riddle. Who do you think I picked?
I feel like you would have picked Matt Riddle.
I didn't. I picked Cam Zagabi. And then Matt Riddle gets signed a year later. One of my biggest regrets. Man. But Cam Zagabi, he's pretty good. But, yeah, I missed out on Matt Riddle.
This was a good poll.
This was a good poll. But congratulations to Tough Enough on the win. And getting into next week's Puma Power of the Poll, you can cast your vote now. Out of these 4, what was the worst celebrity crossover? And we do have 4 options here. We have the Ball family, when they were part of Miz TV. We have Kevin Federline, Britney Spears' ex-husband. Then we have these 2 guys from 2009. I don't even remember their names, but I did hear
Ken Woon. And then the other guy I recognize. I don't know his name.
Well, they called it not SummerSlam. They called it Summerfest. And our last option is Travis Scott. So if you want to go cast your vote, you can do that right now. Go rewatch some of their horrible stuff. You have a whole week to do that. But we do have one more bonus, Put the Power of the Poll, and it's going to tie in with this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast. We had to ask you guys, of course, after SummerSlam, which night was better, night 1 or night 2, and here are the results. Night 2 with the easy sweep.
Wow.
93% of you guys picked night 2, while only 7% picked night 1. What's your thoughts on that?
For those people, those 7% of voters, did they watch night 2? I mean, this should have been 100% to 0, dude. Night 1 was okay. Not gonna lie. Looking back at it, I mean, it's only been a week, and I can't even remember half of night 1 besides Cody and Punk. I'm obviously then Obafemi and Brock Lesnar because it's right there, but well, I guess no Fatal Influence match and the Bellas, and Paige. Maybe I do know more than night 1 than I thought, but I still got to go with night 2, man. It's every match cooked. It's like starting off with the first one with Nick making it a fatal 4-way, and I'm sure we'll get to that later, but like each match was rememberable, and like you can pinpoint which match cooked, and like every match was exciting, and we haven't gotten that in quite a while, probably since WrestleMania 40, if we're talking like whole match card. Not just night 1 or night 2, but actually, I'm just talking about night 2. But in terms of the SummerSlam PLE overall, this was a great success, and a majority of that was because of night 2.
I do agree. This is
I
a no.
Every match cooked. Every match was exciting. Yeah.
This was easily a no-brainer at all. Night 2 easily defeated night 1. It's not even
it was
up
amazing.
for debate. Getting the Kevin Owens return, solid. It felt like you got the surprises, you got the great matches. You pretty much got everything you wanted into night 2 that you wish you were able to get into night 1. Yes, you did get the Randy Orton return. Yes, you got the Bellas turning on Paige, but that was it, really. And then also that opening match with Liv and Io, they tore the house down in that opening match.
That's
right.
Like
nobody after that could match up to them with that match, which I think didn't really help either, because they set the bar high for that opener.
Yeah, and another thing too is if you look back at it, every match in night 1. Let me put it like this. The Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins match night 2, there was more storytelling in that match specifically, more than night 1 combined, with Io and Liv and Fatal Influence and the Bellas and Paige. Like every single match you think of night 1 was improperly built or not built to begin with. And so you go into night 2, every single match on night 2 had some sort of storyline. I don't think any of the matches were predictable, maybe besides the Danhausen one, which I'm still surprised Danny got.
I can't believe. By the way, you guys are probably wondering why Danny Huggins is not here. He was actually embarrassed about picking Dirty Dom over Danhausen.
He was.
You might not be seeing him for a couple weeks.
I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna do some errands. Anyways, love you, Danny. I can totally say with confidence that if you just take the main event of night 2, there was more storytelling than if you put all the matches of night 1 together combined. Like there was more storytelling, and I think the match, the Roman Reigns' match was like 30 minutes too. Like that was a good match. That was peak cinema, dude. Peak.
So good, and that was like one of
I
my
kind
more
of cried,
favorite
to be honest.
Roman,
Like I
one of
teared
my
up.
more favorite Roman Reigns matches because the story was there, and also for the first time in a Roman
Yeah.
Reigns match, we
Mhm.
didn't really get the bloodline involved, and that's what I'm kind of liking about this World Heavyweight title run with
No.
Roman, because it does feel a lot different than his
third
Undisputed
match now.
Championship run. It feels very different, which I like.
Yep.
And I think this is what's really solidifying Roman as one of the top main event guys, easily a first-class Hall of Famer. Because, like, every time Roman, I feel like, especially, like, since doing the whole Tribal Chief gimmick, he really changes everything up. Like, and I love that also with CM Punk. He's changing it up as well as champion. And, like, that's why they're in the positions that they're in. Because you can't do the same thing over and over and over again.
And I had something in my head, but I forgot. I was gonna make a point, but I forgot it.
Well, I do want to read some of the comments here from our We Are Wrestling Facebook page, which, my goodness, man, the Maniacs have been killing it over the weekend over there. So we definitely need to show some love here over on the Facebook. We're gonna zoom in here just so people can get a better look at the comments here, because we did ask at the end of the show, what do you guys give this out of 10? And here are some of the comments from night 1. We got 4 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 4 at best, 3, 4 out of 10, boring, 2, maybe 3, 2, nothing happened, 7, 8, good overall. So a lot of these are like not above like a 6, which is kind of nuts. But then we get into night 2, which I will pull up these here, just so we can.
Donnie, you're kind of really choppy on your end. Is it your feed or my feed that's been really choppy?
It's been your feed, I've noticed, because I was gonna.
It's mine?
Say something. Yeah.
Okay.
But here is the comments here from night 2. Solid 9. Somebody said 2.10. There's me, 9.5 out of 10. 9. Night 2 for sure. Easy 10. First night 3, second night 7.5. 6 out of 10. 6, 7. 9.5 out of 10 from our buddy Rod Muddy. Penta Gable, best match for me. I was bored with Seth and Roman. 8.5 out of 10, 8.5, 9. So look at the difference. Even on the We Are Wrestling Facebook page, where we do have over 11,000 followers, they even are saying night 2 is better than night 1.
Yeah. Oh,
so
of course.
I think that kind of tells you what we need to know.
I don't think this is a knock really at all, but the only like bad part I had about night 2 is there were more matches that were predictable. Like you knew who was going to win, like the Chad Gable and Penta match. Like it was just a freaking layup,
obvious.
slam dunk, man. It was Penta's time to give it to Gable, and Roman Reigns was obviously beating Seth, but you went in there for the story. Like Chad Gable is the story between Seth and Roman, like the history they had. It's just a lot of times like. You know what's going to happen going into it, but you were just so excited for the match anyways. And that was what made night 2 so amazing.
You are going a little bit in and out. You are a little choppy. If you want to log out and then just log back in real quick. If I would try to restart your thing, because you're very blurry. But you're good. I'll take away with the advertisements while you do that.
All right, but I'll be right back.
Alrighty. All right, well, congratulations to night 2. Whooping night 1. We got Wavy Boy in here. What's going on, man? We got Chevy Dude. Also, Alex Johnson. Did you hear about Rhea Ripley undergoing knee surgery? I have. That's why Chelsea Green should not be an interim champion. I hate interim titles. But a couple things that we will advertise while Dan Eddy gets his stuff fixed and together. Because we're live. Anything can happen. Well, I do want to congratulate Create a Pro graduate Gabby Forza on officially signing a contract with TNA Wrestling. The news came out earlier this week. Gabby, somebody that we've been watching for years on the independents. First started, I was actually at her very first match in Create a Pro. Very big fan of hers. Wish her nothing but the absolute best. And I think the Knockouts division definitely got better because of this. So if I were you, We Are Wrestling Maniacs, keep your eyes out on Gabby Forza because she has done a lot of work in the indies, wrestling Thunder Rosa, wrestling Chris Statlander, wrestling some of the best on television in the women's division. So huge congratulations to Gabby Forza signing her first television big deal. Also, of course, We Are Wrestling. We're going to be at the Wrestling Classic at Zombie Hideout on Cooley Street on Saturday, October 24th in Springfield, Mass. And some of the names that you could see at the Classic are former Ruthless Aggression guy Heidenreich, the Young Stallions, TNA Knockout Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and WWE ring announcer Lillian Garcia. And this will all be taking place on Saturday, October 24th. There is going to be more announcements being made, so for more information, you can either follow We Are Wrestling or Zombie Hideout or Captain's Corner. They usually post news and updates with the Classic on Thursdays, and we cover it here on the We Are Wrestling podcast live on Thursdays. And I think Bill and Captain have been listening to me or this podcast because we have new posters for the Wrestling Classic by John James himself. There it is. Which I've been saying it for the past month that I am not a fan of these AI posters. Well, they got themselves a perfect graphic designer here because, man, this is amazing. I want John James to make my graphic when we make our We Are Wrestling announcement for the Classic. But hilarious posts. Go follow Zombie Hideout. Go follow Captain's Corner over on Facebook, Instagram, all the good stuff. And, of course, the We Are Wrestling Unreal shirt available now on ProWrestlingTees.com. It's still hot outside. You can't be inside, man. You gotta go outside, and I think you need to wear a We Are Wrestling shirt. So many different designs up on ProWrestlingTees.com. But there it is, man. Everything that we are covering. Also, if you are looking for solid snackable content, we have the brand new Fanatic Fest New York City Day 1, Day 2, and Day 3 vlogs that are up now on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. There's so much additional content on here. And even Alex Johnson is saying he can't stop watching that reel of me reacting to his meet and greet with Liv Morgan, which you can catch during part 3 of the Fanatic Fest vlog. But also gotta give a huge congratulations to Dan Eddy and Phil for winning their championships, which Dan Eddy will have the title in his hands, hopefully within the next couple weeks, because the title is getting shipped out. Cannot believe, guys, I lost my title. I really was confident, but then going into the episode last week when we did SummerSlam predictions, Dan Eddy got me. Like, his reasons behind each winner, especially the ones that I didn't have locked in, he convinced me. So, honestly, if there is anybody that does truly deserve the We Are Wrestling World's Predictions Champion, it is Dan Eddy. But don't worry, I'll get my title back at Money in the Bank, and he'll be paying the shipping to bring it back to me. All right, he is back here. Let me get him, waiting for his camera to load. And then we'll get into some TV recaps. Hey, welcome back. All right, I think we're good to go. And we might as well start off with the We Are Wrestling TV recap. So here we go. It's time for the We Are Wrestling Podcast weekly TV recap. And oh my goodness, I don't know what it's been. It's been a couple weeks, I feel like. And wrestling television right now, I think all the promotions are absolutely killing it right now. So this was very tough to pick 5 of them, but here we go. We're going to start off with an AEW Collision topic. Last Thursday on Collision, we saw the debut of the Motor City Machine Guns. They are officially All Elite. What's your thoughts on this?
I'm excited. I think it was due for them to get signed somewhere, and I'm excited what to do in AEW. I was hyped when I saw that they actually, debuted. Actually, while we were before we went live, I was trying to think like some great tag teams that they can go up against. Like the New Day will be there probably, maybe at All In, maybe.
I think it's going to be All In after the Cope and Christian Young Bucks tag match.
Yeah, so it's just exciting because I wish they would have done more with Motor City Machine Guns in WWE. Like they could have held the tag team titles for like quite a while because they were that talented. So, but I'm excited to see them succeed.
They definitely
excited
should.
to see what they do.
You want to just make sure if your microphone's connected, because I don't know if it's like through like the PC or not. Just want to make sure you're good, because you sound pretty good.
Yeah.
You're not staticky.
I also noticed. I noticed my thing is flipped.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Just make sure your mic's
There we
connected.
go. Is that better?
Oh, that's way better now. All right, we're good now. We're golden. All right, well, I will say this. I'm excited about Motor City Machine Guns going to AEW. I think that this is a great move for the tag division. And Motor City Machine Guns, this is a smart decision because WWE really just doesn't give a fuck about their tag teams, clearly, because they got rid of half of them during the whole Black Friday thing, releasing people after Mania. So I think Motor City Machine Guns going to AEW. Tony Khan's going to treat them right. I think that they deserve to be on a bigger stage. Like, I know a lot of people probably wanted them to go back to TNA, but I just don't think it makes sense for them logically, because now that they've been on the big stage with WWE, I think that, like, they should go to AEW where the best tag team wrestling is happening right now. Like, you have Young Bucks, you have Christian, Adam Copeland, you have the Dogs, you have the Hurt Syndicate. You have so many tag teams that you could just put the Motor City Machine Guns with. And honestly, man, back in the day during like 2010 TNA, when the Young Bucks were going by the names Generation B, dude, their matches with Motor City Machine Guns were so good. So I really hope that we do get that sometime in AEW.
Hell, even have them join the Callis family.
No, I don't want them to be heels. No.
No? Okay. Oh, they're heels right now? Okay.
Well, the Don Callis family is. So I don't want Motor
I
City
didn't catch
Machine
that
Guns
last
to.
night. Honestly, I was just watching last night because the matches were fire. And then Okada was funny watching his reaction. Yeah, I was surprised by that.
That did
shock
awesome. Me. Which, good news to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs. I might as well spoil it now. Rage will be coming back next week, live with the best one. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Rage is ready to come back, so it's going to be a solid episode next week. Well, let's get into our next TV recap. Last Friday on SmackDown, we saw the return of WWE legend Haku.
Oh, yeah.
Who will now
that's right.
officially be managing his sons, Talatanga and Tamatanga. What's your thoughts on Haku being their manager? This is something new for them.
I honestly flipped out. Like, the little kid in me was excited to see him just on TV, like whether or not he does anything, the fact that he's going to be the manager of the Tongas, I think people can finally start taking them seriously. Maybe I'll quit calling him Tall as Fuck Tonga. Maybe actually call him Talatanga. We'll see. But and then Tamatanga was the guy. He was the yeah guy, right?
Yep,
that was him. Tama. So we were just talking about tag teams before. I think they can do wonders with the Tongas together, and maybe like down the road, not right now or like anytime soon, but in the long-term future, just kind of do a whole full circle moment and do something like do some sort of work with Solo Sikoa again. Depending on what they're having him do with the bloodline, and maybe Jacob Fatu joins Solo or whatever. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but that would be kind of a cool moment to full circle moment later on down the road. But as far as right now goes, they need to get some sort of gold, man. Whether it's taking it off the War Raiders or is it Damian Priest and R-Truth still as tag champs?
They are currently right now.
Okay. I would just take it off of Damian Priest and R-Truth, because honestly, Damian Priest deserves to be in the main event, or at least in the singles titles area.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him going after the United States title, honestly. I wouldn't be against that.
No.
But I don't know, I do think that this has a lot of potential. I love managers. That's one thing that I do talk about that I feel like is missing in pro wrestling in 2026 are managers, valets. And I do love that they are bringing Haku back, because I think it's going to give Taba and Tala purpose, and it's going to give them a reason to win matches, because at the time Solo Sikoa was only focused on what benefits him. Haku, on the other hand, he wants his sons to win tag team gold.
Yeah. They didn't have any sense of direction since they came into WWE. If you don't remember, they had the whole Wyatt Six feud. They were following orders from Solo, who just left the bloodline, so he was trying to find stability himself. And then Solo left them, so they're just kind of sitting there, like sitting ducks. Like, what are they going to do with them now? So the fact that they brought back Haku, I think they have a big plans for him.
I agree, and I think that this is great. This is a great first step, and I really do hope that they do dethrone R-Truth and Damian Priest as soon as possible. And I really hope that WWE can just give a fuck about the tag team division. It's not that hard.
Just a tad, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And, I think giving Haku to both Tala and Taba, this is going to be exciting. And I'm really curious to see where this is going to go. And also, shout out to 2.5K views on the reaction video.
Hey, there you go.
So, massive shout out to the Maniacs on that one. But let's move on now to a couple Monday Night Raw TV recaps. This past Monday on Raw, we saw the return of Becky Lynch and Stephanie Valkyr, who have their eyes set on Liv Morgan's Women's World Championship. What's your thoughts on this?
First of all, I'm glad Stephanie Valkyr is back, because she never really lost a title, because technically she did lose a title at WrestleMania, but I mean, you gotta be honest, Liv didn't deserve that title. I'm sorry, Alex, if you're still watching, but they had the whole industry machine behind Liv Morgan, and maybe it was her time, but she didn't earn that title. She won it. And the fact that Stephanie Valkyr lost the title, even though, I don't know, she never should have lost the title, dude.
Yeah, but
I'm glad for Liv, but I want the title back on Stephanie Valkyr. Maybe they won't give it back to her right away, like the first match with Liv, but dude, it looks so much better on Stephanie Valkyr.
I disagree.
Do you think the title looks better on Liv?
I think so. And that's the thing, unfortunately, it sucks that their match at WrestleMania was cut short due to Stephanie's injuries. And also, Liv, I think, was banged up a little bit, too, because of the whole bump.
Ads.
And the ads didn't help either. Wrong night they wrestled on.
Yeah.
I just, I think that would if they had more time given, I think Liv Morgan, people wouldn't feel that way. And I think it also doesn't help that, WWE didn't have a backup plan when it comes to the whole Liv Morgan and Stephanie because of the injury, her being sidelined. It just, yes, I know. Roxanne Perez. We all know that's going to happen.
No,
It's
I was
obvious.
waiting for you to finish. Like, I wasn't going to interrupt you or anything. I agree with Alex's comment. I think Roxanne Perez just needs something. And there's so much history between her and Liv. But, yeah, so.
It's bound to happen. But
we'll talk about that later on October 10th, yeah.
But I really do believe that, like, if WWE had another plan, like, after the whole Stephanie injury and Liv wasn't just thrown into the Queen of the Ring, didn't defend her title for 100 days, then I think that we would be having a different conversation right now about Liv Morgan earning and being champion, because I think a lot of people forget what she's done because all they're thinking about is, 100 days and she hasn't defended the title. Even ESPN put that as a freaking headliner.
Is she a Grand Slam champion?
Liv? I don't think so because she's never because the Intercontinental title hasn't been around that long, or the U.S. She won the tag.
She did.
And the other women's title.
I don't think she is. But
I like that Becky Lynch brought back the man gimmick, in a sense. Like, she's not doing her cringy promos. I like that she's, like, talking like the man again.
Yeah, there is just like a sense of confidence, but like a backbone, like
a backbone, exactly. She didn't have that in the feud with AJ Lee, and that was one of my biggest critiques.
Yeah, I think that was partly because AJ Lee got inside her head, and she's able to do that with people that she feuds with.
Yeah, but Becky just came off very cringy, and she does better when she's being tough. Because she is tough.
I still don't like her theme. Like, I just wish she just. I don't mind it, but
at least it ain't Def Rebelled.
I haven't. She hasn't. You say all the time, Donnie. If it's not broke, don't fix it. That theme, when her old song was like, like that first drum hit. Yeah, when that first drum hits, that gives me chills. When she's being a baby face, I get that, she was sort of being a heel before, heel Becky Hogan, all that fun stuff. Is she a baby face now? Now that she came back?
I don't know. We're going to have to find out within the next couple of weeks. They're going to have to find out.
But
I really do like this, and I hope it leads to a triple threat.
I do too. Her position within this title, I'm not quite sure where she is at, but I think you made a great point just now of making it a triple threat between Liv, Stephanie, and Liv. I think that would be a great
Liv, Stephanie, and
that'd
Becky.
be a great match.
But I do think that you said Stephanie, Liv, Stephanie.
Oh, my bad. I'm just thinking of Stephanie, I guess.
I know you're still having that adrenaline high from being We Are Wrestling champion. All right, I get it.
I got my words. I got my words in now. I was just thinking of Stephanie Foucault. My bad.
But I do think that this is a good way for them to do the triple threat. Liv wins. And then we actually do get a program with Stephanie and Becky without a title. I think that could be good TV.
Oh, yeah.
And that would help Stephanie get to the next level, at least with the casuals, in a sense. And then maybe going into next WrestleMania, she'll be more ready to be a world champion. Like, we know she's ready. Like, in ring capable, she's one of the best. Like, she's there, but when it comes to, like, the casual fans, like, just the bigger, you gotta put a lot of these new people with established stars like a Becky Lynch, like a Charlotte Flair.
Are you talking about Stephanie Foucault?
Yes.
I think even with the casual fan, I think she's in it with them.
But she's not as, like, she is getting there. Like, she's close, but I don't know. I think she's got to work with some more experienced people in WWE so that the bigger audience is seeing her.
So, you were talking about tiers before. Is she and Jade Cargill in the same tier then?
No. Stephanie
because
can work
you're starting to sound like she's Jade Cargill, which I think she's personally better than Jade Cargill. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love me some Jade Cargill. But I think Stephanie Foucault is almost in that S tier, to be honest.
Yeah, she's almost there at that S tier. Jade Cargill, on the other hand, for me, I have her at like a C, going into a B. Like, she's improving, but not ready yet for the world title. Yes, I had her at F tier at the beginning of the year, but she's starting to improve. She's like C, close to B. Like she
It's-
impressed me in that ladder match too. We'll get into that.
And see, like I'm different. Where if we're talking tiers, her and Stephanie Valkyrie are on the same tier, but Stephanie Valkyrie is in the front side of the A tier, and Jade's more of the back of the A, almost into the B tier. Because I think they're talent wise, they're the exact same.
But I do think
Except
with Liv Morgan,
Stephanie Valkyrie just has a little more moves to her wrestling arsenal.
But I do think, yes, I agree. But I do think that Jade has the potential of being an S tier if she continues to improve. Like I've always said, she has the aura, she has the look, the presentation.
Yeah.
She has that, which is why I am so I critique her because I see the potential. She could be somebody that you could build your company around. I see that potential with her, unlike Danny. But I just think that getting back into Liv Morgan, though, I think that this will be great having her work with Becky and Stephanie because it will add more to her resume of being champion. And I think right now, not defending the title in 100 days, she needs all the credibility that she can get. She already got it beating Io Sky in that great opener. But I think going in there with Becky and Stephanie, this is going to really help with their title reign.
Two things. One, whatever the stipulation is for her next title defense, she's winning. Like, you can quote me on that, whatever. Second, she needs a match without the Judgment Day's involvement, sort of like a Roman Reigns way of doing things. Because I can't remember the last time she was not part of the Judgment Day. I can't remember because she was part of the Riot Squad a long time ago. And then I don't think she had a faction for quite a while. And then she joined the Judgment Day like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it took Rhea's spot.
Yeah, it took Rhea's spot. And
but
honestly, she needs to get that push.
But here's a good comment here. Becky just sounds better when she's serious. Her promos as a petty heel wasn't the best. Agree.
Yes, I definitely agree.
100%. But let's move on to our next Raw recap. On Monday Night Raw, we saw the return of Big Cass in a serious role, attacking Javon Evans, talking about how he has been in the dirt for 8 years. He's back to stack bodies. What was your thoughts on his return?
That pissed me off, to be quite honest. I'm kind of excited for Big Cass to be back, but what are they doing with Javon Evans now? That part pissed me off. Like, why did it have to be after a Javon Evans match? Like, why couldn't he have a big promo and come out and do, like say I'm back and I'm here to collect bodies or whatnot, and then just do like some sort of backstage fight segment? Like, why are we burying Javon Evans right now, dude? Like, what has he done?
I said he should have stayed in NXT for a couple of years. They should have had him holding the NXT title, building the promotion around him because he's still very young. I know he's main roster ready, but he's so young that, like, you really could have built the entire promotion over him. Imagine giving him the championship for maybe 6 months to a year and building that brand behind his back. You're building all the confidence in the world in him, and when he goes to the main roster, he's going to be more than ready. And he would be in a better position booking-wise. Because it feels like he's just getting thrown into the Sharks, which... It is good that like they are giving him exposure. He is on TV every week. That is a positive with him. But
it's a start.
But like, is it believable though? Javon Evans beating a guy like Big Cass? Beating a guy like Rusev? Not really. And that's why I don't like that they're putting him in the ring against a lot of these big guys, because for me, it's not believable.
To be quite honest, he should have the United States champion right now.
Yeah, I think SmackDown. I agree.
Honestly,
put him in there with Elio. Put him in there with Carmelo Hayes.
What's his name? He just won it.
Those
Baron Corbin.
Guys.
Yeah, Baron Corbin's been here for not even a month, and he's already got the title. And I understand, like, it makes the title more prestigious. Trick Williams was on a cloud 9. It's sort of like the synopsis of Rocky 3. Like, he was on top of the world, and then one thing led to another, and he had to start from the bottom. Same thing they're doing with Trick Williams. I gotta watch that movie again. That movie is fire. Anyways, Javon Evans needs to be in that picture now. If they're not going to do anything with Ilya Dragunov, even though they were just giving him the greatest push ever as United States champion, and now he's not even on TV. If Carmelo Hayes is not going to do anything with Trick Williams, well, maybe in the near future, then put Javon Evans in the picture. Like you say, throw people into the water with sharks all the time. Javon Evans has proven himself. There's a reason why in that triple threat match between Javon Evans, Obafemi, and Trick Williams, that match in NXT Stand and Deliver last year.
Yep.
Was that it? There's a reason why all three of those men are on the main roster now, because of that match in particular. To be honest, in my opinion, so Javon Evans is ready. I just don't see why, and that's why it pissed me off, because they're not doing anything with him, and I can see him a lot better than half of the roster.
And I feel like SmackDown has a lot more smaller guys than Monday Night Raw, and I think that like they are letting him sink or swim. But sometimes when you're in the ocean, you kind of need help. You need to learn how to swim first. And I feel like on the main roster, like they didn't give him enough time to swim from one side of the pool to the other. And I think that that's causing some issues with the way that Javon Evans has been booked. I like that he's been on TV every week and like they're actually giving him wins and stuff. But I just think like SmackDown, a lot of those wrestlers, I think he fits better over there. Going against the Carmelo Hayeses, going against the Ilya Dragunovs, the Baron Corbin. Like I could believe Javon could beat a Baron Corbin before a Rusev or a Big Cass. That's why I would have Ilya Dragunov come over to Raw and work with some of these bigger guys, because it's more believable that he could beat one of them. Yeah. I think Javon Evans just needs a fresh start, and I feel like SmackDown would be perfect for him.
As far as Big Cass goes, I'm excited to see him back. And excited to see what they're going to do with him.
Me too.
I just think they could have done his debut a little bit better. I think that was just terrible booking. I thought the debut was bland. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah. And this is exactly my point that I proved to Danny a couple weeks ago here on the show. I'm telling you this right now. If Big Cass came out with Enzo, it would have got a bigger pop than what we saw on Monday. I'm sorry, but this past Monday, Big Cass's debut was the drizzling shits. I hate to say it. Like, there are so many other ways that you could have debuted the guy. And I think just having him attack Javon Evans and then cutting a quick little 20-second promo, that just didn't do anything for him. Also, it doesn't help either that Corey Graves didn't sell how scary Big Cass is, because he has a vendetta with him because he used to date his former wife, Carmella, who was in WWE. I didn't like that either.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you rewatch the segment between them, Michael Cole's doing most of the talking, and Corey is just sitting there like he doesn't give a shit. And I'm sorry, but like if I understand, like you probably don't like the guy, you hate him, but you need to be professional here. And you need to be selling me on why I should be nervous about Big Cass.
Tyrus, you should be happy I'm not putting you on timeout right now. There is no way that Big Cass and Jade Cargill should be in the same sentence. That's no.
But I just think overall with Big Cass, like him and Enzo, like, come on, man, don't fix something that's not broken.
Well, I'm trying to think. What was the last segment on Monday Night Raw? Was it the Roman Reigns?
It was Jacob. No, it was Jacob choking Royce Keys out, and then Roman acknowledging
that's right.
Jacob.
That's right. See, I was thinking that if they had I wouldn't say do it at the end of that segment, but if there was a different segment, in like a match or whatever, at the very end, have Big Cass's new music play and, have him come out. Like, even something simple like that, even just showing up, not having a promo or talking, not even having a microphone, and just having a stare down with whoever was, towards the end of the episode, that would have been a better debut than, just burying Javon Evans even more after he wins against Ethan Page, which was another guy that they were going to push, but now they are not doing with him either.
To be honest, I'd be okay with Big Cass being Ethan Page's bodyguard. That's a role I could see Big Cass doing good in.
Yeah.
It's like a Diesel's type of role.
we got to see what they're going to do with Big Cass, if he's going to be a singles person and not having anybody by his side,
like.
or if they're going to have like an Ethan Page or one of these new guys, team up with him, try to get, give them the rub too, and, kind of push them both. I
just don't get why we can't bring Enzo back with Cass. Like, it's the best thing that happened to both of their careers. We're working together.
I think why they don't bring Enzo. They won't bring Enzo back.
Well,
I'm not saying. I can't say won't.
But it's been. But before you do answer to why, that's the thing though too. Enzo has been spotted at the WWE Performance Center, so clearly WWE has some interest in him, and I guess there's possible rumors that he might be going to NXT and being a wrestler, but at the same time doing coaching as well at the Performance Center.
I just think
he should be with his freaking brother, Big Cass.
For those who have watched wrestling long enough, if you remember the promo he did with The Miz, dude, The Miz buried him in that promo, and he was just never the same. I think the only option to have him get a pop when he shows up is to be with Big Cass, and that's why I asked earlier if they're going to have Big Cass be a singles, like, by himself wrestler.
Well, that's what it seems
if
like.
If they have plans for him,
if Enzo was going to be with him, he would have been in the Nets and stuff.
He wasn't even in there either. If that's the case, then yeah, I would definitely see Big Enzo being in NXT. Maybe going up against Grayson Waller.
I am so nervous for Big Cass because, like, I don't know, dude. Like, they tried doing this big gimmick before with him, and you know what happened? A couple weeks later, he got released by WWE. So, like, I really don't know how I feel about this direction, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. I just think that he either works good as a bodyguard, a Diesel-type role, or if Enzo does go to NXT, this is the biggest missed opportunity right now because the WWE Tag Team division is on life support. So bring in an established tag team who was over back together would do wonders for your tag teams, especially if you're going in the Performance Center trying to build new teams. Putting them against Enzo and Cass, that's going to do something for them rather than going against two other generic guys.
There aren't many wrestlers. There aren't many wrestlers who can do a promo without a microphone. And if you know, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the debut for Big Cass, but hopefully things get better. But moving on to our last TV recap for this week. On AEW Dynamite last night, MJF made his return at Grand Slam Mexico and attacked Andrade, who will be entering number 1 in the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal at All In. What was your thoughts on MJF's return?
See, I was watching AEW last night, but I didn't catch that part. I think I quit. I was doing stuff around the house, so I had it on, but I wasn't in the room watching it. But I'm excited for MJF to be back, and whenever he is on the show, like, he is money. Like, he is the. I don't want to say he's the Roman Reigns of AEW because I don't think that's necessarily true. But like, whenever he's the MJF, yes, and whenever he's on TV, he is like attention grabbing. He is like, you get excited to what's going to happen. So I'm excited to see him back. I'm excited to see that title in his hand, even if he hasn't won it back yet. And then for him to go up against Andrade, I've always liked Andrade. I just feel like WWE has done him wrong multiple times, but I was always a fan of the wrestler of Andrade.
Well, he's doing really good right now overall
Andrade.
at AEW. It seems like he's finally like putting all the pieces to the puzzle together. I'm loving this new side of Andrade, and I hope that like this does lead eventually after All In with the Gauntlet. Andrade and MJF do lose that match, and I think going into All Out in Chicago in September, MJF and Andrade do have a match against each other, and I think you give Andrade the win, and I think that's when you get Andrade into the world title picture, because I really do think that he is ready now, and I feel like he's somebody that could be a potential needle mover for AEW. But getting into MJF, I love the return. I think it makes sense that he brought back the Triple B. his AEW World Title because technically Will Ospreay did screw him at Beach Break against Kenny Omega for the belt. So I do like that he brought that back, and I do like that he's going to probably end up winning next week's Casino Gauntlet, #1 contender thing. Him and Andrade will be 1 and 2, and they'll be able to square off for a little bit, tease the potential rivalry that's going to happen, the potential pay-per-view matches. So I really do like the direction that they are going in. I just hope that this does lead Andrade to get to the next level, because I think that he's somebody that they do need to really start like cashing in those chips.
Donnie, you'll be proud of me. I've watched AEW for 3 weeks in a row now.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm trying. I realize that you can just watch it on HBO Max every Wednesday and Saturday. And yeah, so I was trying to get more into it. I thought the match last night with Okada and there were so many other people. But I always liked it when the camera panned over to Okada and his facial reactions of whatever was going on. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, no, 3 weeks straight now.
The Speedball and Fletcher match was so good last night.
Yes, that one was great too. Yeah.
So good. All right. Well, with that being said, it's been an hour of us talking about everything but SummerSlam. So I think it's time that we get into reviewing night 1 of SummerSlam. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let me fill you in on something. You know, it's funny. I was told that Ricky knows best. Let me fill you in on something. I don't care who the #1 contender is, because this belt isn't going anywhere. Be it casual Cam, you just survived the P. Diddy party. Congratulations. Go hawk some shit at the flea market and stay out of my fucking league. I don't care if it's Jungle Boy, the AEW Jungle Boy, or just some other guy who wants to call himself Jungle Boy. It's kind of weird that a grown man wants to copy a gimmick and name himself Jungle Boy, but we don't have time for that right now. Or be it Scotty 2.0, the internet rapper who likes to rap about stuff, who watches your podcast. I don't care who the fuck this is, because this is mine. Let the forever reign begin, bitches. Let me fill you in on something. This ain't going nowhere.
Well, we crowned a new Thunder champion in Old School Phil. He cleaned house against Ricky Knows Best. It was the score was 10-6. And night 1, man, Ricky got 3 of the 6 matches wrong. Old School Phil only got 1 match wrong. Damn. Insane.
Underdog story, dude.
It is time for our SummerSlam review. We're going to talk about each match, give our thoughts on it, and we're going to try to fly through this because there is 12 matches. You got 6 matches on night 1, 6 matches on night 2, and we also did have our We Are Wrestling World Predictions Championship on the line, which Dan Eddy ended up winning the championship. In night 1, Dan Eddy had 5 out of 6 right. Danny had 5 out of 6 right. I only had 4 out of 6 right.
Wah, wah.
So here we go with the review. Starting things off, we had Io Sky versus Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship. What was your thoughts on this match?
So I'm going to start with this match and then just put night 1 in general. Like what I was saying before, there wasn't a lot going into this night. Like I said, the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins match.
Well, we're gonna talk about each match.
Night 1 together. Well, I know that, but I was putting it like I was going to preface me saying like that match.
Oh, okay,
and you put night 1 combined, like it's much different. Like it's a lot more. But in terms of the storyline for this particular match, there was some sort of a feud, but like if you don't remember, like they couldn't really do a whole lot with Io Sky winning the tournament because it ended up she ended up winning like 3 weeks or so before SummerSlam. Like it was a weird time lapse, but they had a great match nonetheless. I think there were some spots. Obviously, you had the Judgment Day involvement in Roxanne and Raquel. And I liked how Io Sky didn't have anybody come out and help her. I liked that part because you could have thought of like, Yeah, like evening the numbers. Yeah, having the numbers against her, it helped. My favorite spot, which ironically was the one you just put up, was when she did a German suplex on Liv Morgan on the apron of the ring. And if you don't recall, like that is probably the hardest part of the ring.
I've been in the ring.
Overall.
I can say that's true.
Yeah, and now that we've seen the underneath the ring part, thanks to the Oba match, you know what's underneath there. So the fact that she did that with Liv Morgan, that made me like, ooh, you know, tuck my butthole up a little bit, you know, because that looked like it hurt bad. Yeah, and ultimately Liv Morgan does win, sort of clean win, and her first title defense in 104 days is a victory, which I got right.
I really did enjoy this match. I was going into this with very low expectations because I really didn't care for this, only because
Yeah, me too.
of the stupid Queen of the Ring tournament having Liv Morgan, who is already a champion, in there. We already got this match during that event. But I will say, man, their SummerSlam match was 10 times better than that. And I thought that Io Sky really brought out the best in Liv, and I thought Liv brought out the best in Io. And I think that this was a solid first title defense. Now, let's not wait 100 more days for her to defend the championship. Let's keep the ball rolling here. And I think with this past Monday, with Becky and Stephanie getting involved, going after the title, I think we're going to be doing something with Liv now as champion. Get me invested. This is a fresh coat of paint. This is a fresh start. Io and Liv, they really set the bar high, and I think a lot of these other matches, they didn't live up to that standard.
Real quick, would it be a hot take if I said that I liked this match a lot more than the Cody Rhodes match?
No, it wouldn't be. A lot of people are saying that this women's match.
Because I thoroughly enjoyed this one a lot more than the Cody Rhodes and CM Punk match.
Yeah. But we have Alex Johnson here. Liv versus Io, in my opinion, is a match of the night for night one of SummerSlam. I don't think a lot of people would argue with you on that one, Alex.
No, it's
I
debatable.
thought that they had a great
really good
match.
argument.
All right, well, I'll review the next match and give my thoughts. Moving on, we had a 6-man tag match. We had the Bloodline, Jimmy J and Jacob, versus LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo Sikoa. I enjoyed this. This is probably my favorite spot of the entire match. The only thing that I truly cared about was when Solo was running it back. I think that if there's one thing we learned in this match is that Solo Sikoa should never be a heel ever again. Keep this guy babyface. Let him just bring out his personality because the fans are invested, and he's only been doing this babyface thing for like 2 weeks now. So I hope that they continue
2 months,
it.
yeah.
Well, it's been it
over
has
a
been
month,
picking
probably.
up more within the past month.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This match I felt like was just a solid Raw or SmackDown 6-man. Really nothing too special here. But the thing I did really like is that Royce Keys got some experience getting a first big PLE match. I think that is very important for his growth in the business.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy this little mixed team here of Royce, LA, and Solo. 3 completely different people. But of course, the guys who are not family got the win. Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, and Royce Keys. LA Knight getting the pinfall. Another big pinfall for him. Now, it looks like him and Roman might be the direction, so we'll have to keep up with that. I just hope that LA Knight continues to pick up the momentum that he's...
I was going to
having
point
in this
that out
match.
in saying that what I was saying about night one, there wasn't a lot of storytelling or building up to the matches. And a lot of the matches from night one, you can't really take a whole lot out of them. Like CM Punk is, champion still. We can, go a lot of routes with that way. With this match, you can't really take a lot out of it besides, you mentioning Royce Keys got some great attention and, practice. LA Knight got the pin, so that's great. And then you just enjoy Solo Sikoa's gimmick even more.
And this is a fresh start for a new babyface Solo. So we're going to have to see.
Fresh start for all 3 of them.
Exactly. And it just opens up more doors, more opportunities for them because it seems like we're getting a Royce Keys and Jacob Fatu feud now. And Roman's pissed that they lost to 3 randoms. But I'll let you take it away with this next match.
Which one is that? Oh, Nick Aldis and Gunther. The Nick Aldis WWE debut match, and I probably wouldn't have it any other way besides being at SummerSlam.
Oasis! They gave us
Yep.
a non-Def Rebel song.
Came
They
out
got
to
the
Oasis.
Morning
He had his
Glory.
National Treasure gear, which I thought was sick. But going into this match, you knew this was probably one of the most built, besides the Obafemi and Brock Lesnar match, was
One of the
the
best
more
stories.
built match stories going into the match of night one. Yeah. And we'll talk about the Cody one later on because I got some opinions about that one. This one was great.
As
you
a casual,
knew what was
man,
going to happen.
This was your first time watching Aldis, like in a full match.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Were you
going into the
impressed?
match, predictable. I knew what was going to happen. Like I was going there just to watch Nick Aldis wrestle, and I was thoroughly impressed. I was ecstatic to see him in the ring, coming out to music for chance. Not just wrestling, but him coming out to a theme, and like overall, I thought that was really cool. And the stage at SummerSlam was really well built. I thought that was kind of cool. Not a lot of people were talking about that. But this match, you could have gone into here, and there were a couple of spots to make you believe that Nick Aldis was going to win. But overall, Gunther does pick up the W, and maybe starts over his run after this victory. But Nick Aldis, man, I was excited to see him wrestle. I was thoroughly impressed. I was going to watch more TNA matches. I just got distracted into other stuff instead, but I still plan on doing that because I kind of want to see him wrestle again. And this way, having him being the general manager of SmackDown again, I think he's more on a wrestle here and there basis. Maybe have a feud with Sami Zayn next or something like that. But I just love this match. I think that was a great match. I wouldn't call it a filler match because like there was storyline behind it. It wasn't the best match, but yeah, I mean, it was great. It was entertaining.
Yeah, man. I knew that Nick Aldis was going to shock the WWE Universe. I've been following his career going all the way back to 2008 when he debuted with Doug Williams, a part of the British Invasion, a tag team in TNA. And he has been so successful outside of WWE, and I love that he finally got the opportunity to showcase what he is very talented at, and that's professional wrestling. And I thought him and Gunther, this was a solid match, told a great story. This was also one of the highlights for night one for me, getting to see all this in the ring. And I just knew he was going to shock the world. It's like he never missed a beat either, and he hasn't been in the ring in over 1,000 days since this match. So the fact that he went out there and the fact that they actually let him wrestle, and it wasn't one of those like, all right, like he's a former guy, he gets squashed, he gets buried. Glad that that was not the case here.
That was quite a long match.
And I'm excited to see what happens next because there is a lot of heels in WWE that don't like the Authority and they feel like they're always getting screwed. Like you said, Sami Zayn and Nick Aldis, that would be a solid matchup. I think another one that could happen eventually, Drew McIntyre and Nick Aldis, because McIntyre always thinks the general managers are out to get him. So there's a lot of different people that you could have Aldis work with. Randy Orton is another perfect example. He's always hated Authority unless it's Triple H. So I think Nick Aldis, man, he proved that he could still go. And I love the way that they like reinstated him as GM. Like, I think a lot of people thought it was lazy the way they did it, like during the post show. I liked it because Triple H pretty much like it was real life. Like you have to stick up for yourself. You have to be a man. And that's what Nick Aldis did.
Yeah.
And he respect that. So that's why he gave him back his job.
I think one of the funniest parts of this match
Told
was
a great story.
They did. Even with the post show, it continued the story. What I liked about this match too is he's only 39 years old, but they were chanting, "You still got it." He's only been out of the ring for 3 years.
Well, dude, the fact that this dude
it's not like he's Goldberg or anything.
The fact that this dude hasn't wrestled since, I want to say 2022, is kind of crazy to think about. Or 2023. Yeah. Like, it's crazy to think about 3 years out of the ring and, like, he, like, didn't even botch a move.
No.
That's crazy. That's impressive, if you ask me. But we do have a comment here. I could see Nick Aldis wrestling occasionally if there's more people pushing him over the edge like Gunter did.
And that's what I thought about Sami Zayn at first too, because that could be his next feud if you think about it, because he screwed over Sami Zayn twice now with the last PLE. Can't think of it right now. And then with night 2, we'll get more into it. He made it a fatal 4-way match.
That's true.
When it was originally just him and Finn.
I'll take it away with the next match we have here. Probably the worst match of the entire SummerSlam card. We had the 6-woman tag match. No, this shouldn't even be on Raw or SmackDown. This should have been on a WWE house show that I was going to at the Mass Mutual Center. Fatal Influence versus the Bellas and Paige. This match, I do like that the Fatal Influence did get some experience here, getting a big PLE match. This is good for those 3 women, but that's literally the only highlight here. Besides Nikki Bella, I thought Nikki Bella looked the best out of everybody in this. She was the one that
she
was
carried the match.
Going. She looked great for her ankle injury return.
She carried the match, and then she also had to carry a match because of Brie Bella, but sorry. Go ahead.
But moving on, though, to the match, of course, Fatal Influence gets the win. I think JC pitting Paige, that was the right call. Unfortunately, though, Brie Bella did get injured, which does suck because Nikki just came back. And after the match, Nikki and Brie took out Paige, which was very predictable. I think we all called it in our predictions.
Very predictable.
I don't know, man.
I called that Paige was turning on them, but yeah, I knew something was going to happen.
There was a couple other matches I would have replaced with this one. I just wasn't impressed. I felt like it was just a very mid match, which is unfortunate because I think all 6 women are very talented. I'm fans of all 6 of them, but this match was just not it for me or anybody. I don't think
to say it was the worst match of all SummerSlam. I could see the Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio being worse, but that's because I won the title off of that. But I can't really say that now because I won the title. But as far as this match goes, I enjoyed it.
Spots. That Dom and Dan had a little bit more fun spots. This match had nothing.
You knew that many houses were going to come out. You knew something else was going to happen. You knew the curse was going to get shot onto Dominic Mysterio. JD Big Head was going to come out. So, you knew it was going to happen. Yeah, you did.
But you see, that's
this
thing.
Match,
that
the
match
fatal
had
match,
more memorable moments. This match, on the other hand, I can't even remember one thing that happened except the turn afterwards because it was so damn predictable.
Well, I remember the spot where Brie Bella got injured because what was it? Was it JC Jane that did this somersault slam into her with Brie when she was up against the stairs? That looked like it hurt, and I guess it did because she fractured her, was it tibia or not tibia? Shoulder somewhere.
Yeah, so basically I got the report on Brie Bella. So basically she said on her podcast with Nikki that she'll not be getting surgery on her broken scapula, will be out for 3 to 6 months.
That was it.
So she'll be out 3 to 6 months.
Damn.
So we're probably going to be getting the Paige and Nikki feud, which I think will be good.
I think that's no offense to Brie, and I hope she gets real well soon. I think if you were to put a feud on Wyndham with Paige, I think Nikki and Paige can carry it more than Brie, Nikki, and Paige, to be quite honest. No disrespect to Brie.
But you already know the direction that we're going in.
Paige wins?
So I think
AJ Lee returns.
AJ Lee returns with Paige. So now that's going to happen.
That might just be like a triple threat, maybe.
Or they're just going to wait until Brie comes back and then AJ will make her return. But I don't know.
Yeah, because AJ Lee hasn't hung him up yet, so.
I'm sorry. This match just wasn't for me. I didn't like it one bit.
That's fine. That's all right.
But hey, maybe we'll get some good stuff on SmackDown moving forward. Let's hope. All right. Well, moving on to the next match here on the card, we had for the WWE Undisputed Championship, Cody Rhodes, which I did love his Street Fighter gear, versus CM Punk, celebrating 20 years in WWE. Which, what was your thoughts
Was it WWE
on
or
this match?
it was 20 years or something?
Yeah, 20 years. That's when he debuted
Um,
in ECW.
To be quite honest, I was going into this match. It was exciting. Oh yeah, that's right, ECW. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, my biggest concern was, and I think I put it in the group chat as well, or I messaged it to you, is they built this match around the title. They didn't build it around their feud or their history, which goes back past like 2008, which was the last time they wrestled a one-on-one match. And they didn't even, I don't think they even mentioned it during the broadcast, where it was basically like Cody Rhodes 1, CM Punk 0. Because if you think about it, like, well, they faced twice actually. CM Punk was 1 and Cody Rhodes won the other one, which was a count out. So it was really just CM Punk 1 and Cody Rhodes 2, if you think about it. So if they're going into this talking about their history together, that would have made a better storyline than just, oh, I want my title back. Oh, well, I got this title now. What are you going to do about it, sort of thing, And this match was pretty good. It had some decent spots. CM Punk did a what's it called? Flying moonsault, which failed.
Paid homage to Terry Funk while he did that, which was epic fail.
So, I mean, it was epic fail, but I appreciate him trying that out and the meaning behind it. The gear of CM Punk was fire. Like, I like the green and yellow. If you guys don't know, I'm a Packers fan. And that like old style green and the yellow, it reminds me of the University of Oregon, which would have been my dream school to go to. Anyways, this match, I don't know. I can't really say a lot of it because going into it, you can't put the title on Punk and then just having him lose it to Cody Rhodes right away. When Cody Rhodes has had 3 championship reigns in the last 3 years. Like, I think there's a lot more to do with CM Punk, and I think even WWE creative knew about that.
Yeah, when it comes to Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk, the story was just awful. Like, I know, like, we know the friendship because, like, we have seen it, and that's kind of, like, what they've been doing, but, like, they just haven't sold me on, like, their hatred towards one another. Like, it doesn't feel believable, which is why going into this match, I really just didn't give a fuck, if I'm being honest. And I know both of these guys are better, and I know they're both better than that. They're way better than that. And they could have definitely, if they really wanted to, they could have told a better story.
You were talking about the casual fan earlier, Donnie, with, Stephanie Vakir coming back and Becky Lynch and all that. When you're a casual fan watching this, wouldn't you want to know the history between these two? Like, why are they so angry with each other and why they, have history?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It doesn't go back to 2008. It goes back to the Saturday Night Main Event spot where he flipped the title and it hit Cody. That's the story that they were trying to tell here with this whole thing with Cody and Punk.
And that's another reason why too. Like, as a casual fan, like if you're just gonna go off of that, then like, what are we doing here, man? Like if the whole thing with him, with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, like of a WrestleMania this year.
Yeah.
The history that they had each other with over 20 years, and the fact that they brought in Randy Orton, as you've shown, with him getting an RKO or giving an RKO to Cody Rhodes, that made the match. I knew CM Punk was winning. I had no doubt that they were going to get it right. And the fact that Randy Orton is back now and CM Punk is still champion, those were my 2 things that I liked about this match.
I did really like the Randy Orton return because now we know, and I think I was talking about this in our predictions episode last week, we don't need Cody going after the championship. I'm tired of the same 4 people getting pushed over and over and over again. I think Cody feuding with Randy without a championship, and this time not having any celebrity crossovers, we're going to get a better story, and I think that they're going to redeem themselves from WrestleMania 42 this past year.
Yeah, I think so.
So I really did like this decision here. And I think Punk winning, I think, was the right call because there is just more ways that you could do this. Obviously, now with, like, returns of, like, Kevin Owens and Gunter probably going after the title, it makes sense for CM Punk to be champion right now. because there's just more opportunities there. Because I do think realistically, and this would be like just quick fantasy booking, I'm just going to put it out there for the world to hear. I think the plan's going to be Kevin Owens is going to lose to CM Punk. And I think going into possibly Money in the Bank or Survivor Series or maybe a Saturday Night Main Event, wherever they decide to do this, Gunter will end up becoming #1 contender pretty soon. And he will beat CM Punk for the championship. And I think he'll hold the title all the way until WrestleMania 43. And I think a guy like Braun Breaker or Obafemi or even Trick Williams will take the championship off of him. And I think that will probably be Obafemi realistically.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be right back. Take care of the next match.
Yep, you're good. All right, guys. So moving on to the next match here on the card, we have the main event, which is the Hell in the Cell match. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, which this is Brock Lesnar's last match officially, which we will talk about in our weekly news and rumors. And of course, we get Paul Heyman introducing Lesnar. And I will say, man, I was very, very disappointed in this Hell in the Cell match. I even said it last week on the predictions that I went into this with high expectations. Like, you were either going to pass the exam or you were going to fail. And I was going to keep you back. There was going to be no extra credit, no after school, none of that. None of that crap. You pass or you fail. And in this case, I'm sorry, but WWE absolutely failed here. Because the Hell in the Cell, you got to have the brutality. And I'm sorry, but not having color in this match was the first biggest mistake that they made. And the second one was not using the cell as a weapon. You have this big ass playground that you could use. Not even one time they threw each other into the cell. They could have utilized that. But I felt like it was just a missed opportunity after a missed opportunity here. But there was a couple things I did enjoy throughout the match, like Brock Lesnar pretty much taking the mat off the canvas here. I did really like this. Also loved like him paying like homage to The Undertaker. Thought that was really cool because of course he was the one that beat the streak. And then of course Obafemi does the power bomb. Doesn't even sell the tombstone, barely. And Obafemi ends up winning. And I think the coolest part about this was what happened after the match here with Brock Lesnar hugging Oba, pretty much putting him over, saying he's the future, Brock's the past. And I thought that was a really cool passing of the torch moment here. But this Hell in the Cell, I'm sorry, it was dog shit. Absolute dog shit. And I thought if there was a perfect time for somebody to get color, it was when Obafemi got the steps thrown at him. Because he sold that perfect. Why was there not any color in this match? Why did nobody utilize the cell? Instead, we get Brock getting thrown into a fucking Slim Jim table. They didn't even use the cell. Unbelievable.
Honestly,
Wingstop chair.
Yeah. I forgot about the. I mean, I saw the tombstone. I forgot the meaning behind that because he was the one that broke the streak with Undertaker, and now he is just passing the torch over to Obafemi.
This was awful.
So that part I liked.
11 minutes and 39 seconds. That's how long this match was.
It could have been at least another 3 or 4 minutes.
No, this match could have easily been a 20-minute match, and they could have worked around the cell using it, just hitting each other's heads into the cell. You could have saved like 5. You could have added 5 to 6 minutes just doing that.
Well, I mean, you gotta be honest though, Donnie, and I said it in the group chat too. Like it was a success as a street fight. It was a failure as a Hell in the Cell match because there was maybe one spot with the fence of the Hell in the Cell, and that was it.
Not even.
Everything else, they didn't leave the ring the last 6 or 7 minutes, and that wasn't a 6-7 joke, but that was like the last time they left the ring, and then 7-8 minutes now, and then the match was over. They barely used the cell.
This was so bad, this Hell in the Cell. And like that's the thing, like we know what WWE is capable of doing. Like if you're gonna have Royce Keys bleed from the mouth from the Tongan death grip, why can't Brock or Oba bleed on a premium live event?
Now saying that,
Doesn't make
all
sense.
that, I still think this should have been the main event, and they got that right.
Punk and
This
Drew,
should have been the main event.
they set an example to why an old school Hell in the Cell match can still work in 2026. I just don't get why. Brock should have, when he took off the boots at WrestleMania, that's where he should have ended it. Because these last two matches were just, it felt like money grab. WWE had nothing going on. They didn't know what to do. WWE was losing some momentum. That's why they gave Brock a big bag to come back for a couple matches.
I can see that.
They missed the ball here. I know Brock, he was going to end it at Mania, 100%.
I understand where you're coming from.
When has Brock ever showed emotion?
And I'll ask you this. If they didn't have the feud with Obafemi with Brock Lesnar, what would they have done with Obafemi instead? Because obviously Roman Reigns is busy doing other things. Who else was Obafemi going up against? Big Cass wasn't there.
Okay, but here's the thing. With Obafemi, you had him in the King of the Ring tournament.
And
if he was going to win, he should be going for the title at SummerSlam, like you're supposed to when you win the King of the Ring tournament. Or you could have had somebody that's maybe not being utilized right now feud with him going into SummerSlam. Like there's plenty of guys on that WWE roster that you could have go against Oba that are worthy competitors that could add to Oba's resume.
Donnie, Monday Night Raw was a success because he is facing. Well, he had like a face off with Braun Breaker, who I think he should have had a feud with a while ago. And you mentioned earlier about them righting their wrongs.
Yeah, but like the last two,
that's one thing.
You're right about that. They are, but dude, Braun Breaker, like he wasn't even on the SummerSlam card. You could have given us Braun Breaker versus Obafemi if Brock decided to hang up the boots. Like that would have been a solid program. A lot better than what he's doing right now. Taking bumps for Otis and Tozawa. Like they are rewriting Braun Breaker, which I do like. I like the direction they're going in from Raw. But I don't know, man. Like with Brock and Oba, like I'm sorry, but I went into this with high expectations, and honestly, I don't feel bad that I went into it with high expectations because this match should have given us everything that we wanted.
I think a lot of it had to do with the build-up. Like just two berserkers going at it inside of a cell. So like the hype and the marketing behind it made it the main event itself. Like you knew,
yeah, I agree with that.
The wrestlers themselves, like you knew this was going to be a banger match. Could it have been longer? Yes. But did we have spots that we thoroughly enjoyed and we're probably going to watch again in the near future? Yes. Have you already watched those set spots? Yes. So
Only
in terms
Undertaker.
of the Undertaker spot was one of them, yes. And then the table, like I said, against the cell, that was a good spot. What are you talking about?
Stupid. They should have utilized the cell. Why are we utilizing it? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. He threw him into a table, not the freaking cage itself.
The table was up against the cage, though.
Ooh, whoopee.
So transition property, A plus B equals C.
Well, A plus B equals I didn't fucking care for that table spot.
I want to know that equation. Damn.
You know what I got out of the table in the chair? Slim Jim and Wingstop.
I wanted
Bullshit.
to order wings so bad this past weekend, and I'm on a money tightness, so I didn't. But I wanted Wingstop so bad. So they just
like,
succeed.
why wasn't Brock and Oba rubbing each other's faces into the cell? Where was the brutality?
I have no idea. It's all marketing nowadays, bud. It's all marketing.
Yeah, I know. It's all marketing. At least I know with AEW when I get a steel cage match or I get freaking a death match or something, I'm going to get color and blood like you're supposed to.
This is true. I mean, I understand your frustration because I want to color too.
Like every time like I watch a Hell in the Cell or Elimination Chamber or a cage match in WWE, it feels like I'm going to a fucking Adventureland or Chuck E. Cheese and I'm freaking jumping in a ball pit.
what kind of pizza you're getting though, because that makes a difference. I'm saying if this match as a simple one-on-one match and you expect a color, then I understand your frustration with it being a Hell in a Cell and there's no color either. So, like the fact that it was added onto a Hell in a Cell stipulation, there should have been color.
You see, if it was
Like, without a
one-on-one
doubt.
match without weapons or without a cage, you know what? I'm
expect
not
color.
going to expect color. I'm not going to expect that.
Really? With these two big behemoths going at it, you wouldn't expect color in a simple one-on-one match?
Well, you can, but like the psychology, there's ways to work around it, and they have. I would like blood, but if they're not going to give us blood in a Hell in a Cell, what makes you think they're going to give us blood in a regular match? Well, it's WWE. So
I'm not saying a one-on-one WWE match. I'm saying a one-on-one Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar match in general. Like you would expect some sort of color if it was just those two.
Yeah, like a real fight.
Leaving the industry out of it. That if those two were just going at a one-on-one, I would expect color. I would expect probably Brock to be bleeding from the head, to be quite honest.
And you're telling me with the TKO money, like you couldn't give Brock like an extra $100,000 to take color, make Oba look even better?
I have no idea.
I don't know. But that was night one for SummerSlam. I think I rated it a 6 out of 10. What did you rate it?
I think I did too. I think I gave it like a 6 or a 5.
Well, going back into the review, like now, like kind of having more time to reflect, probably would give it a 5 out of 10. Because night 2 proved to be different. But we'll get into night 2 in our main event topic. Well, we do have a couple news topics to talk about, so let's get into the news. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about the latest headliners, the rumors, the contracts, the controversy, who's pissed off this week, good booking, bad booking. It's time for the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors.
You fucking mark!
It's time for the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors.
Oh, I love that every time.
And we're gonna pick up right where we left off. Our main event for night 1 was Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. Well, this past week on the Pat McAfee show, Brock Lesnar confirmed that he is retired from professional wrestling. Here's what Brock said. I am retired, and I wanted to say a big thank you to everybody. Saturday was a very emotional day for me. When Obafemi slammed me at WrestleMania, I was like, I can't do this again. I think I'm done. What's your thoughts on Brock Lesnar officially retiring? Because before you give your thoughts, last week here on the show, that was my biggest question going into this predictions was, will Brock Lesnar retire, or is he going to be one of those prize fighters that does take on some fights? And that was something that even Pat McAfee asked Brock Lesnar if he was going to do that, and Lesnar said no.
So, in terms of him retiring at SummerSlam, we're kind of right, because technically that wasn't a retirement. He retired on the Pat McAfee show. I guess it really hasn't hit me yet, because I saw all the news, breaking news, other content creators posting videos about it. You know, the Pat McAfee segment being on my YouTube algorithm, because I watch his podcast almost every day. So it's always on there. But I don't know. Like, it's not up there as like with you and John Cena, but it's sort of up there because like I grew up sort of watching Brock Lesnar, to be quite honest. And as much as I hated him, I also hated to love him. Like I love to hate him, but I also hated to love him. So I don't know. It's sort of bittersweet, to be honest.
Yeah, it hasn't really fully hit me yet, because I think it hit me more when he took the boots off. He was crying at WrestleMania because like it felt like he retired there. So like it hasn't fully hit me yet, because like these last 2 matches that he had after WrestleMania, it felt like Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Kane and Undertaker at Crown Jewel in Saudi.
Yeah. And the way he did it too was sort of
weird,
very low key and weird. Yeah. You would have thought maybe he would have done it at Monday Night Raw or something. Because I think he would have got. Would you? Okay, real quick. Do you think he would have gotten a good pop if he came out, did a quick promo, and said he was officially retiring?
Massive pop, big thank yous. You would get fans crying.
Yeah.
You would get all the emotions.
And he was on Monday Night Raw, like periodically, or most likely. Yeah. So I don't know.
But it is bittersweet. Brock Lesnar, one of the very best athletes in the entire world. Whatever he put his mind to, always went out and gave it his all. He is easily a first-class professional wrestling Hall of Famer. Of course, same thing with mixed martial arts, first-class UFC Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Brock even almost made it to the NFL, playing for the Minnesota Vikings, which is nuts, too.
He would have been a linebacker, I think. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is something else, and we're never going to see another Brock. I know a lot of the times, like when we see new guys, they always get compared to the John Cenas, the Hulk Hogans, the Stone Colds, the Rocks, the Triple H's. But there's never going to be anybody, but there's never going to be somebody that you're going to say, ooh, that guy right there is the next Brock Lesnar.
Maybe a Braun Breaker be a mini Brock.
More Goldberg.
Yeah, no, yeah. Now that I think of it, yeah.
Dude, Brock is just. There's nobody that's built like him. There's nobody that can work like him. Like, there's nobody that will ever be able to lace a pair of boots like Brock Lesnar when it comes to like just the physique and just his toughness.
Yeah.
And Brock, man, like, there's times where I freaking couldn't stand him, especially in like the late Vince era. But he is still one of the very best to ever get in the ring.
Oh, he will surely be missed.
And for that, We Are Wrestling. We want to thank Brock Lesnar for all the entertainment that you brought to our television screens these past 20 years.
Something like that, yeah.
25, 30. It's been a long time.
Been a long time.
But I hope that, I think. But I do hope that like retirement does treat him well. I know he's very excited to follow his kids' dreams and support them every step of the way. Man, I'm just happy for Brock Lesnar that he was able to call his career when he was ready.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he's happy with
when he I think in Josh's segment here, he said when Brock said was happening when he wanted to end off a great career in his hometown, and he's almost 50, so his body's basically telling him that it's time to kick back. And then what you were saying, Donnie, when he got slammed by Obafemi, he kind of knew that was it. So I think when you get to know like when it's time and you're okay with it, then yeah, it's the good time.
Yeah, and Brock's been doing it for a while, and he's accomplished more than anybody in the business. Like, he's the one that ended the Undertaker streak.
Yep.
Insane. And I wouldn't be surprised if going into next year or the year after, he's going to be the head of the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2027 or 2028. Probably next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
All right, well, let's move on to the next topic here, which this was announced a couple weeks ago, but last week we did the podcast with SummerSlam predictions. Well, last week, Busted Open Radio announced a new partnership with WWE, calling it WWE Radio. When this got announced, Dave LaGreca, the host of Busted Open, said nothing is going to change. There has been some controversy since the new partnership. Thunder Rosa, AEW/CMLL talent, has been let go from Busted Open since the new partnership. They'll only be covering WWE and didn't say anything about AEW Redemption. So then pretty much another thing that was pointed out that was said on the radio show, I do have the receipts here, I do want to read it word by word. So Bully and Dave were on the radio, and Bully said, forget the yes, the partnership is what it is, but, and I've said this on the air to you hundreds of times, you have overextended yourself to every wrestling company on the planet. LaGreca, some of those companies thanked me by putting me in section 313, row 24. Bully, how did WWE thank you and us? LaGreca, put us in the front row and identified us during the broadcast. Bully, Has any other wrestling company ever put us in the front row and identified us? Dave, no. Bully, should they have? Dave says yes. Meanwhile, Dave LaGreca from Busted Open has been in the front row for multiple AEW shows. So there has been some controversy with him when they made this announcement, saying that nothing was going to change with Busted Open Radio. Also, there is reports that Nick Khan, a part of WWE and TKO, also stated that he does want Busted Open Radio to still be critical of their product. So he doesn't want them to change.
Well, of course.
It seems like within the past week and a half, there's some fans that don't like this move for Busted Open. What's your thoughts on the whole WWE radio thing?
Well, a couple things. One, I saw it coming a mile away ever since WWE got the ESPN deal, having all their PLAs being on ESPN, because they have a lot of Sirius XM channels already. Like just not just ESPN radio, but ESPN college radio. They have a fantasy football radio. So I saw it coming. And second, with Busted Open, I can see them only covering WWE because half the talent on that podcast is from WWE back in the day. But as far as it being called WWE radio and them only being called WWE or not, covering WWE because no other industry was practically spoiling them, I think that's a little petty. And it kind of matches WWE because WWE is petty, as you've pointed out many times before, Donnie. Yep. So I think there's some sort of controversy because of the industry itself. Because, hey, if I'm AEW and I'm Nick Khan, I would just Nick Khan, right?
Tony Khan.
AEW. Damn it. Tony Khan. I would just start my own AEW radio. Why not? You started your own WWE industry going up against the monopoly shark that is called WWE, and you've succeeded for more than 6 years now. So why not start a radio?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't give AEW the credit that they need. People forget that AEW is not TNA, where they've been around for 20 plus years. They've only been around since 2019. And the fact that they get the numbers, obviously they're not on the numbers of WWE, but the fact that they are still on a major TV network, they're selling over 50,000 plus tickets in Wembley Stadium. And it's not WWE. That's impressive. That is very, very impressive.
I think of it as, do you have an iPhone or Android, Donnie?
iPhone.
Fucking
Android.
Okay, that furthers my point. Have you always had an iPhone?
Yes.
Okay, so if it going from WWE and checking out AEW is more like you've been with iPhone system the whole time and you started with an Android phone now. You're starting something brand new. You're so used to how the phone is organized. You're so used to how things look.
I can tell you right now, I like this analogy because Androids are complicated. That's why I don't have one. And AEW, their television product is complicated.
And I have an Android, and I think iPhones are complicated. My girlfriend
I think iPhones are simple and they're easy, just like the WWE. They make things easy and simple for the
with the Android phones. You can make them simple and not complicated. But my point was it takes a lot for somebody to try something new because they're so fucking used to the things that they're used to watching, like WWE or doing. So the fact that AEW is selling 50,000 plus tickets at Wembley Stadium, the fact that they've sustained industry for more than 6-7 years, the fact that they're getting all this traction, even if WWE is, being petty as fuck and scheduling all their PLEs at the same time, and now they have their own radio station on Sirius XM. My thought going into hearing this news is, why can't AEW do the same?
And I think that they'll probably end up doing it But I don't think that that's the whole point of this. And first off, before I do give my take on the WWE radio thing, I do first want to start off by congratulating Busted Open Radio, Dave, Bully, Tommy, and Mark Henry for getting this big opportunity here, especially Dave, who's poured his heart and soul into SiriusXM with Busted Open Radio, just like me, pouring in my heart and soul into We Are Wrestling. Like, he pretty much started doing the same thing as me. A live podcast, a podcast show, a show once a week. And then it led to him doing 24 hours now with wrestling content. And Dave has busted his ass to get to where he's at. So for them to secure a deal with WWE, that is big props to them and massive congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Big congrats.
And I do wish them nothing but the absolute best. But when it does come to the monopoly of WWE, I might not be a fan of it, but it is best for business with what WWE is doing. Because Dave has built pretty much a solid foundation with Busted Open Radio to the point where during WrestleMania 40, he was the head of the Cody Crybabies. And The Rock even called him out and pointed out at him. And there was that big thing. And the fact that The Rock was doing like a movie premiere in New York, I want to say like maybe a year or two ago, and then Dave, like The Rock is doing all this media and he goes to Dave specifically to shake his hand and thank him for the stuff he's done in the business. That's the impact that Dave and Busted Open Radio have. So for like WWE to secure a deal with them to want to do their own radio show, I think that that's great business. But now if I'm looking at it from being a Busted Open fan, somebody who doesn't like the monopoly, I don't like the favoritism. I don't like it because AEW was something that a lot of the Busted Open fans would tune into. They love the reviews after the pay-per-views. Even myself, I was curious to hear what Dave, Bully, Mark, and Tommy would say. So, like, that part of it I don't like, but I understand why they did it.
I think that, I can understand. And absolutely, it's a big stepping stone, or not stepping stone, like step up from, where they were at before. So congrats to them. As much as I hate some of the Busted Open Radio takes, I mean, you got to give respect to those who deserve it. And so the fact that they got this contract, congrats to them. My concern with it is, I think just because the talent in that podcast is like ex WWE superstars, like part of them is just probably jealous that AEW is being such a success. So I think they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to give them any sort of the rub or any press about it.
And they know how popular Busted Open Radio is. So now WWE pretty much like getting the monopoly for it. They won't talk about AEW anymore, and that might take some of that excitement away from their product. So like business wise, I understand what it is, but I just don't like the pettiness. And that also concerns me too, because Dave and them, they are very outspoken, they are very opinionated, and that's one thing. Like Bully gets a lot of heat, but I think he is one of the best wrestling media podcasters out there, because his takes and perspectives on the pro wrestling industry and the business, it starts those interesting conversations that you and I could have every week here on the We Are Wrestling pod. So what I'm afraid of with WWE Radio, with Busted Open, is will the show become more filtered? Will the show not be the same? Because what they were doing, it was clearly working. They got WWE knocking on their door.
Yep.
I really do hope it works out for them, because I've been a big fan of Dave's for years. One of the reasons why I got into podcasting with We Are Wrestling is because of Busted Open Radio. I just really hope they don't forget who they are in the process of this, but enjoy the ride, because they did earn this.
They did earn this, and I want to say I'm concerned too, because when WWE controls anything, then they control the narrative. It's another way of them kind of giving us a WWE Unreal without having it premiere on Netflix, if you know what I mean. Like, kind of control the narrative in a sense where, like, you're right. Like, it could be more filtered. It could be, they're focusing on more specific topics, for us to hear, whereas, other stuff is going on, more WWE propaganda sort of way. And it's not just Busted Open Radio anymore. It's just WWE Radio, which that's why it's called that.
No, the Busted Open Radio is still the name of their headline show, but now the whole series, the Series XM, that's going to be like their channel is known as WWE Radio.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's 24 hours, 7 days a week, and they have a bunch of different.
So they have different podcasts throughout the day.
Josh Toy Show pointed it out here. He says, I think the move is interesting. Love how they're allowing fans to listen to the PLEs while being on the road, but they could have done just wrestling radio on Sirius XM.
Yeah. And I think it's sort of a controversy or sort of, a break of contract when ESPN has a contract with WWE, but then they're also promoting AEW stuff. So maybe that's why another reason that's not just wrestling radio, because if they're giving out AEW material, but they're, supporting WWE, it's sort of a catch-22. Like, hey, I'm a fan of you, but I want to see this other person agree, or succeed.
And that's the thing too. Like, it's called WWE Radio, so now it just doesn't make sense for them to cover TNA. It doesn't really benefit them covering AEW. I just think that it does suck, but at the same time, this is a really cool opportunity for them.
It's a cool opportunity for Busted Open Radio. It's a bad opportunity, and my personal opinion, a bad opportunity for ESPN or Sirius XM, because when you're pigeonholing yourself to just one wrestling industry, when you can literally watch wrestling every day of the week these days, I think you'll just run out of stuff to talk about until something else happens. You go from podcast to podcast when they're, spitting out the same facts or stats or, things that are going on, same opinions. So I think as a listener or viewer standpoint, you'll probably get burnt out quite easily. That's my only concern with it just being the WWE
Busted Open
radio.
fans that did like the AEW stuff, that's going to affect Busted Open Radio.
Might lose some fans, but you gain a contract.
But you will be gaining a lot of WWE fans, the casuals. But let's move on to our last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors topic, and then we'll get into night 2 of SummerSlam. This week, Rey Mysterio announced a tournament to name Roman Reigns' opponent for the World Heavyweight Championship on the September 14th episode of Monday Night Raw from Mexico City. The tournament will feature some of the best luchadors from Raw, SmackDown, and AAA. So my question to you is, who should win this tournament? We don't know as of right now, of us being on this live episode of the We Are Wrestling Pod. We don't know who's in the tournament. We haven't gotten any names yet. But who would you like to see possibly go in there against Roman in the Mexico City episode of Raw?
So, in
WWE
my
is
head,
filled with talented luchadors right now.
There's crazy. I'm not sure why AAA doesn't have a TV contract yet, but that's a whole other can of worms. My thought process going into this was there's only one name, and that name was Penta. As much as I give Danny Huckins shit, actually I give Danny Huckins a lot of shit. I think he made a good point of it maybe being Dominic Mysterio. And that hurts me to say that he had a good point, but nonetheless, Dominic Mysterio, in my thought, was he's getting the rub that Sami Zayn had a few years ago. Like, he's been hitting rock bottom at the rock bottom. He does this crazy, stupid shenanigans match that he loses up against, joins a faction, and then he regains his stardom. I think Dominic Mysterio is doing the same thing by having the Danhausen match, losing, basically having a downhill career ever since his match with John Cena. This match with Roman Reigns can potentially help him go back into stardom when he almost was going to face Roman Reigns a long time ago. But as far as star power right now, Penta, hands down. I think Penta and Roman Reigns would put on a great match And now that Penta lost the IC title, there needs to be something for him to do. And I think you and I, Donnie, were saying last week with him losing the title, he could potentially go into the main card to do some things with either CM Punk or Roman Reigns. So
this would be great for Penta.
I think with Penta, you can't lose. Like, even though he'll probably lose to Roman Reigns, I think you can't lose a Penta. With Dominic Mysterio, I think there's great storylines because not only is it him going up against Roman Reigns after having this terrible career, but you have him going up against Roman Reigns. Well, I mean, it could have been worse. Yeah, but you have him going up against Roman Reigns while having his dad being the general manager of AAA.
See, I don't want it to be Dirty Dom.
If I had to choose, I would choose Penta too, but go ahead.
I don't want it to be Dirty Dom because I think that him losing to Roman Reigns, yes, it'll be good exposure to maybe start taking Dom more serious, but at the same time, it's just going to lead back to being a part of the comedy thing because the Judgment Day, they just need to just split up. At least JD and Dom. At least maybe keep like Raquel, Roxanne, and Liv because they're actually winning and they're actually doing something with them. I just think that Dom, I think, needs to disappear from Raw and SmackDown for a while. Kind of like when NXT was competing against AEW on Wednesdays. Finn Balor needed a break from Raw and SmackDown, so they brought him back to NXT for a year. I think Dirty Dom, keep him in AAA only for a year. That way we could build some more credibility towards him, and then when he comes back to WWE a year from now, we'll be taking him a lot more serious. I don't think Dom should go in there with Roman because I think it's only going to hurt him, if anything, because Dom has been kind of on a losing streak, and he's been a joke. He lost to Dan fucking Housen at SummerSlam, for crying out loud, and the dude is the AAA champion. So here's who I would have. I like Penta as an option because that would be a fun match. It would be unique to see Roman work with somebody different and unique, but honestly, I kind of want El Grande Americano to win. He's been off Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and main roster stuff for a while now, and he's built so much credit through AAA. And he's like their biggest star right now. So imagine having him versus Roman Reigns in Mexico City. The crowd's going to be behind El Grande. And I think that the casual viewers that are going to be watching Monday Night Raw, because they watch it every Monday, regardless of how shit or how good the product is, they're going to get behind El Grande, and people are going to take him more serious. I think that this would be great for Kaiser to get this exposure and have him go against Roman.
Who's Kaiser?
Oh, sorry, El Grande Americano.
Oh, yeah, Grande Americano, yeah. The big coffee.
But I think he'd be the perfect choice to win the tournament.
Yeah, I could see that too. He was probably my third choice behind Penta and Dominic Mysterio, just because there needs to be some way to revitalize Dominic's career, and Penta has as much star power in the Lucha Libre as El Grande Americano.
And you see, that's why I'd be okay with Penta.
That felt weird saying. But either way, El Grande Americano, I think whomever is going up against Roman Reigns, they just have more plans with Roman Reigns going forward. So as far as like who goes up against Roman Reigns is important because I think they're trying to get a TV contract with AAA as far as maybe Fox or put them on Netflix. Just put everything on Netflix these days. Like what are we doing here? We're spending $26 a month on Netflix. We should be able to get all fucking.
But I would like to add too. But you see, putting El Grande Americano against Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw in the main event for the championship, that is going to tell a lot of TV executives that the guys that they have in AAA, they are profitable. They can get viewership every week. And I think putting El Grande there, the guy who is the face of AAA, let's reward him. We already rewarded Chad Gable by giving him the Intercontinental Championship. By far, that mask versus mask match is probably easily the match of the year right now.
Oh, easily.
And I think now that Gable got what he deserved, I think it's time that we give El Grande Americano what he deserves. And I think putting him in there with Roman will do big, big things for him, win or lose. People will start actually taking this serious.
It's so funny how you're looking back at it, you never would have thought a match from Triple A could be the match of the year.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing. You like that would,
the long-term storytelling from that aspect, you didn't expect that in 2026 WWE. Like, you just couldn't. And match of the year, I would say, is up there with you can either pick Roman Reigns and CM Punk or Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. I think Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins is kind of up there as well. Maybe as a close second.
Yeah, but there's a lot of AEW ones that are also in that contention for overall.
True. And as a casual fan myself, I did not think that. So, but in terms of like who goes up against Roman Reigns, it's really a great idea. I like this. At first glance, like I was like, what the fuck is Rey Mysterio talking to Roman Reigns for? And he's like, hey, I'm the general manager of Triple A. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, oh, I guess I know now. I'm like, dude, you were watching Triple A. Like, what are we doing here?
And we all, and you know what I got out of that? I thought it was going to lead.
Didn't exist.
I didn't think that they were going to do a tournament that led to Roman fighting on Raw, defending the title, because I thought that they were doing the Ray Roman thing for the show Worlds Collide that's going head to head with AEW the same night in Chicago. That's why that's what I thought they were going to do. But then again, maybe they still are going to have Roman on that Worlds Collide. But I do really like that this episode of Raw, like they're going to build a tournament here with luchadors. And in Mexico City, like the luchadors are over. So I think that this is brilliant. Whoever booked this idea, I do like this a lot.
If you watched any of the AEW luchadors last night, dude, that was so cool. I had no idea what was going on, storylines or whatsoever. I was just in there for the matches, which I guess is.
And I'll tell you, one of the guys probably that impressed you. There's this luchador at AEW. His name's Commander.
Hechizero. Oh,
he's
I was gonna say Hechizero.
Oh, Commander's nasty. I got to watch him and Vikingo wrestle at Northeast Wrestling Show.
I was gonna say I was impressed by Hechizero,
too.
Which means sorcerer / wizard in Spanish. I'm giving you guys a lot of Spanish facts today. It's crazy. But yeah, he was good.
Well, Josh Toy Show here has a couple comments about the whole AAA tournament. Here's what Josh said. I like how AAA stars are involved. We're probably going to see a lot of great talent such as Vikingo, Ray Phoenix, Dom, and a lot more. This is a great way to showcase the Triple H talent on a big stage.
Exactly.
I don't want it to be Dom either because that's just ruining him. Agree, to a sense.
I agree and disagree.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's kind of where I'm at, too. But with that being said now, it's time we get into the main event, which is our WWE SummerSlam Night 2 reviews. It's time for the We Are Wrestling Podcast main event. Oh man, I can't stop jamming to that little jingle.
Let's do it.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, this was one of my favorite WWE PLEs in 2026. I enjoyed SummerSlam Night 2. This was one of my favorite shows of the year that WWE put together. And we're starting off with the Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn match, which ended up, this is one of the reasons why I love the show, because Nick Aldis comes out and we get Gunter. The entire stadium is just so bummed. We all thought that Gunter was going to go in here, just win it, and then he was going to probably take the belt off of Punk too soon. But then Aldis got us with the twist, and Kevin Owens showed up, made his return to WWE.
Dude.
This was such a moment right here.
We needed Kevin Owens back so bad, dude.
I
cried. I was tearing up. I was so happy.
But this was great because, man, I was saying it in the Fatal 4-Way match. Like, if you were to, like, use indie terms here, you had El Generico versus Prince Devitt versus Walter versus Kevin Steen in a Fatal 4-Way. And this was just one of those, even though the match was short, wish it was a little bit longer, you still got a very fast-paced, heavy-hitting match. And I think everybody looked great here. Gunter teased a couple moments where he was going to win, which I'm glad that they gave it to Kevin Owens. And I think him getting the pin on Sammy is definitely going to maybe unlock a new chapter with the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens rivalry.
I forgot the pin was on Sammy.
But this excites me. Like, it sucks that Finn Balor didn't win because I really thought that he was going to get his moment. But now it kind of makes sense that he didn't because we already got him and Punk multiple times. And the only reason that scenario was going through my head was because I thought CM Punk was going to turn heel night one, which obviously didn't happen. Randy just hit him with an RKO. Punk took advantage of it.
Yeah.
Without knowing, Randy interfered. But I just think that Kevin Owens, man, being back, this is the perfect time. Looked great. I was getting a little scared that he was, like, wrestling like he never got hurt or broke a neck.
Yeah. I was like, no.
But he's a professional. He looked great out there. And I just really enjoyed it because that's the thing. The highs and the lows. And I loved that, like, when all this came out, we thought we were getting an all this heel turn. And that Gunter is coming out. And it was like, what the hell? Why Gunter? Because people can't stand him. And guess what? I could stand him because he's doing his job as a bad guy. He is an old school fucking heel, and I love it because that's exactly what a heel should be, and we don't really have that in professional wrestling in 2026. So Gunter coming out and just seeing all the energy get sucked out of the stadium, and then even my live chat, because I was doing a live watch-along for night 2, just saying, what the fuck, here we go again, this is bullshit. And then getting Kevin Owens and everybody going, oh my God, like this is the best fucking PLE. This is already better than night 1. So like, that's what I love about professional wrestling is everything we got in those 10 fucking minutes.
Yeah, dude, you took the words right out of my mouth. It was a fucking swerve and people were happy. And
we're getting Kevin Owens and CM Punk now, which I agree right here with our Maniac here. Kevin Owens versus CM Punk is a dream feud I've been wanting.
Yeah, and thanks to Danny. Wow, what the fuck, Dan? Thanks. I'm giving Danny Huggins so much grace this week. This is fucking bogus. This is the last one, I promise. He posted in the group chat the video of the promo that Kevin Owens did with CM Punk the night before the Royal Rumble. I completely forgot about that, and I think that's where they pick it right back up on tomorrow actually.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
That's a reaction I can't wait to.
And the fact that they got the pin on Sammy, I forgot about that part. So you're right, that is going to lead to something. And I think they're still planning on doing something with Finn, hopefully, because he didn't get the pin. He didn't win, but we'll see.
Hey, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. We'll find out more tomorrow on SmackDown, the direction of all 4 of these guys.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for the Kevin Owens and CM Punk feud. Because if you know the backstory, Kevin Owens and CM Punk do not like each other. They have never liked each other. And they actually have, like, legitimate heat, like, outside the business. And it goes all the way back to, I believe, the independent Ring of Honor days when Kevin Owens was going by Kevin Steen. And CM Punk was critiquing him wrestling with, like, a singlet, but having, like, the shirt over the singlet. And, like, they just never saw eye to eye. Plus, Kevin Owens is, like, best friends with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Meanwhile, CM Punk got into a big brawl with them in Chicago at the All Out Media Scrum. So, like, there's a legitimate heat between the two. Like, even Owens and Punk have gone on podcasts and interviews and have buried each other saying, like, I don't like this fucking person. So, like, I'm excited to see what they could do working together.
Is this on the level of heat with
this is Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart heat.
Well, I was gonna say The Miz and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, probably a little bit more heat.
More than that?
A little bit, yeah, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just excited to see what's going on.
I'm excited as well. Kevin Owens winning, this was the right call. I don't think he's gonna beat CM Punk, because I do think that Sammy or somebody's going to cost him, and then we get a program for a few months with Kevin Owens and probably Sammy or maybe Drew McIntyre or somebody, but we'll have to wait and see. Or, yeah, they go back to doing him and Cody, but Cody's got Randy right now, so I don't think that that's going to happen.
It's true.
But I'm just excited. Like, this Fatal 4-Way, perfect way to start night 2, especially after a shitty night 1.
Yeah.
Which, congratulations, man, to Kevin Owens coming back. Josh Toy Show, glad to see Kevin Owens back. He deserved this win 100%.
He
Couldn't
did.
agree more. But
It's so ironic.
Match. I'll let you.
It's ironic. Yeah, we'll cover that match. It's funny how Kevin Owens comes back after, like, what, 17, 18 months of being out? The same amount of time that Randy Orton was out before he made the comeback. And they showed up at the same PLE. I just thought that was kind of cool.
That was cool.
Next match. Kind of upset you gave me this one because I wasn't excited about this one. But anyways, we have Baron Corbin.
I thought it was better than going into this match. I wasn't excited, but I thought it was better than what it was supposed to be.
Probably just because it was one of the only matches they got wrong. But anyways, I just think Baron Corbin. Anyways, Baron Corbin versus Trick Williams for United States Champion. And at the start, it was more like Trick Williams was, taking control. Baron Corbin did the End of Days outside the ring, I think it was called, or the Sixth Sense or whatever the other move was called. I did like the spot that he had with Lil Yachty or Little Small Boat, and when he put him through the Slim Jim table, I thought that was a little botched, like kind of cheesy.
He freaking slid like a bowling ball.
Yeah, and the fact that Trick Williams was like, "Oh my god!" As soon as Trick made that face, I was like, "Oh crap, this is over." Danny's got one. All right, cool. But then, yeah, as you see here, Baron Corbin hits Trick Williams with the belt, what the ref doesn't see, and 1, 2, 3. Baron Corbin's holding the Furry Walls United States Championship belt, which I hope they take that off.
They are. He already said he's ripping every single piece of fur off that title, and then the interviewer was telling him, like, that's expensive, and Corbin said, I don't care.
I wouldn't give a shit either.
Black strap.
What made me think of what this match made me think of immediately afterwards was Trick Williams is winning Money in the Bank, and I hope that's not the case.
It's gonna happen.
I really hope. I don't know. LA Knight should win, but
dude,
either way.
I could already hear the crowd, like, when he's running down the ramp at, like, a Royal Rumble or a WrestleMania, whoop that Trick and just cash it in, get in that moment. Like, if there's anybody that's gonna win their first title, Money in the Bank wise, it's obviously Trick Williams. Like, he's an opportunist.
We'll see what happens. We got till October 10th, but either way, this match was entertaining, I guess. I didn't like the outcome, but the more I think about it, like I was saying earlier, like this was sort of like the basic synopsis of Rocky 3, where he was kind of Trick Williams, aka like Rocky Balboa, aka Trick Williams, was kind of humbled in a way. He was on cloud 9. He was winning every match. This match, Lil Yachty's his sidekick. He's got the fantastic theme. It was sort of like his way of being humbled, and like, hey, this isn't easy. So in that aspect, I liked Baron Corbin winning. I wasn't a big Baron Corbin fan, but
I like this.
Anyways.
I want to read this to the Maniacs. Tyrus here. If Little Yachty is trading, maybe this will get him against Trick, like friends blaming each other whose fault it was. They lost the title.
I don't know if they have enough to go on there.
I could possibly see Little Yachty turning on Trick at some point, and then we do get that match at like a Saturday Night main event or something.
Maybe for a Saturday Night main event. I wouldn't say a big PLE or any PLE to begin with. I don't know.
It should be a Saturday Night main event.
There wasn't that much there to have them feud against each other. It was just basically Trick bumping Baron into
here's the thing.
Lil Yachty.
They could build this up for the next couple weeks. Maybe Little Yachty gets in the way by mistake in a #1 contenders match for Baron Corbin's U.S. title. There's a lot of ways that this could go.
True.
I wouldn't do the Little Yachty turn on Trick right away. Let's kind of give that a little bit of time. But I gotta say, man, I'm happy with this booking decision, and I just feel really stupid not picking Corbin over Trick, because obviously Trick's ceiling is not the United States Championship. Like, he's gonna be a world champion. He's gonna be main eventing PLEs. He's gonna be main eventing Raw, SmackDown, whatever it is. He is that guy. But dude, Baron Corbin coming back, like, I thought that he was just there to put people over. That's it. Glad I'm wrong. This, I feel like, is a way of WWE apologizing for misusing him the last couple years of his WWE run. And I'm actually excited to see what he does with the U.S. title, because now this does open up the door for a babyface like Carmelo Hayes to go after the title again. And I think working with Baron Corbin will do great things for him, or Ilya Dragunov.
Or, like I mentioned earlier, Javon Evans.
Or Javon Evans, exactly. So I think that there's just more opportunities with Corbin winning the championship than Trick holding it. I think Trick is destined to do bigger and better things. I like this for Corbin, though, and I'm excited to see who's going to be the one to take the title off of him.
I agree with what you're saying, but there was a reason why I liked Trick as United States champion, because I agree that he's destined for main events and bigger things. The problem is the main event card is so fucking full right now. Like, there's no room for Trick. But he's the one that deserves to have a title on him at all times, because he's that good.
See, Damian Priest, he wasn't in that conversation, but then he went to Money in the Bank, won it, that Senor Money in the Bank, and he cashed in at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true.
Got a moment.
That is true.
But you see the difference between Damian and Trick. I'm a fan of Damian, but I think Trick's not going to fold under pressure. And I think that he is going to make that championship prestigious, because that's what he did with the U.S. title. People were talking about the belt with him holding it. And Trick Williams is one of those guys that can put anything over. Like, he could be wrestling a speck of dust, and you're going to get excited about that match because Trick Williams has so much charisma about him.
You know, the more I think about this match, the more it is very similar to Rocky 3, because not only did Rocky Balboa lose and be humbled, but he also lost his sidekick, his partner, Mick. So in this case, with Trick Williams, he could lose Lil Yachty, you know?
Mm-hmm. But also, let's see some of the comments, and then we'll move on to the next match. Tyrus. But honestly, this match limited Trick, and I blame Corbin. He still can't lead a match. I disagree. Josh, honestly, I'm happy for Corbin, but Trick should have held it longer. I think his time. I think it was good timing. And Tyrus says Punk will do a better job elevating Trick in their upcoming match. I agree. I think Trick needs to be working with the main event guys. Let's get him ready for that level, because that's the type of caliber player that he is.
He held it for 105 days.
He did. But moving on to our next match here on the card, we had a 5-woman ladder match to crown the new interim champion, which I still hate the name interim. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green versus Lash Legend versus Charlotte Flair. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed this ladder match. I think you always gotta have a ladder match at WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Because even like the SmackDown tag titles last year at SummerSlam, that was one of the highlights. But I do think Lash Legend, it should have been Julia in this match. Lash looked very green. I was not impressed with her performance.
Dude,
Jade Cargill looked great.
If you were in Danny Hawkins' stream, he was bashing Lash Legend so hard.
She was so awkward in that match.
Well, he went to the point where she should just like divorce Trick, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What?
He was saying how she is so bad that Trick Williams should divorce her because she is that terrible. I'm like, what does that have to do with fucking anything? Like, she's green, yeah, but damn. Wow. First you're heel and now you're not champion? Damn it, Dan, dude.
Oh, right there. That's Gunter beating John Cena heel.
Wow.
Right there,
my
dude.
God. I'm like,
that's
okay.
Hulk Hogan joining the New World Order heel.
I was listening to that. I was like, okay, I'm going back to Dying Stream. Fuck it.
Oh my God. I can't believe he said that. Wow. But I gotta
Instead
say
of
though,
stream, too.
everybody except Lash looked great in this match. Tiffany definitely redeemed herself from that, that match against Jade. But I will say the ladder spot was cool with the power bomb that Lash did to Tiffany, but it took Lash like 10 minutes to freaking do this move.
I'm happy Chelsea Green won.
Oh, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Well, I was happy. Well, I was going to lead to saying I was happy Tiffany Stratton was basically carrying the match.
Yeah. But then, of course, we get the tease with Chelsea climbing the ladder, and then B-Fab and Beechin come out and start stomping her.
Man.
This is where my heart just came right out of my chest. I was
the only time I was pissed off by seeing the Jade Cargill's baddies. I was so mad. Oh my god.
I was so pissed, and I was like, "What the hell, Dan Eddy? This is your fault." And then, of course, we get the ladder spots with all of them going up the ladder, and then, of course, what me and Danny were predicting, Jade and Charlotte were going to be the last two. But then they both end up falling, and Chelsea Green finally gets her moment, proving Michael Hayes wrong, winning the WWE Women's Championship. Not even calling it interim. Fuck that. She won the championship. This counts.
She does. And I'm so happy for Chelsea. She has been there. She's been there. She is a WWE diehard. Whenever she's injured, she's still being on TV. She's still showing up. Some people will be injured, oh my god, my shoulder or my finger or whatever, leg, ow, and they'll take off. They'll take off months. And Chelsea Green, she's on TV with the fucking cast.
Yeah, and then you want to talk about taking advantage of every second you get on television. Chelsea Green is the prime example of what talent should be doing. Because Chelsea started off with a comedy Karen gimmick. She was able to get it over, and she takes advantage of every little opportunity. She could be in a 10-second match. You're still going to remember something from that. She could be in a solid 10 to 15-minute match, and you're still going to have something memorable there. It could be a 30-second segment from backstage on SmackDown, and it could be a highlight of the entire show. Chelsea is that talent, and that's why, when Michael Hayes made that comment on WWE Unreal, I was pissed because Chelsea is somebody that you could build your company around. And I think that her finally getting her moment, I think Michael Hayes, he always knew. And I think that that's why he said that on WWE Unreal, so that us diehard Chelsea Green fans, like myself and a lot of my major wrestling figure podcast buddies, because Matt Cardona is the host of that and his wife is Chelsea, we would all get behind her more. And that's why this moment felt so special. And I'm just so happy that, we're finally rewarding somebody that did it the right way. Hard work. And I hope that she keeps this title for a pretty long time, because she was able to make that U.S. title prestigious when she won it both times. And I think that she can make this championship relevant again. Sorry, I don't want Rhea to get the title back when she comes back.
13. This outside of the main event, because obviously Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
I do wish Rhea a speedy recovery with her knee.
Obviously, besides the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins match, because you knew that was going to go more than 20 minutes. It went 33 minutes, to be honest. But this was the longest match of the night outside of that one, with 13 minutes flat. And I feel like it could have been longer, because I love this so much. There were so many spots. As soon as I saw all four of them on the ladders, and then Chelsea Green was still laying there in the middle, I knew. I didn't want to pre-celebrate, or get excited a little early. But I just knew that she was going to wake up, and, everybody else was going to push themselves off. And Chelsea Green was going to grab it.
This is my problem in life. I always second guess myself, because I was going to pick Chelsea Green to win this, but then I second guessed myself going into my lock-in predictions, and I just went with the safe bet and went with Charlotte, and that was just a big mistake.
Danny fucked himself because he was like, yeah, I'm picking Charlotte, but Chelsea Green's my dark horse. I'm like, well, why didn't you go with Chelsea Green then, dumbass?
See, I kind of did that to myself too, because she was my dark horse as well.
I went Chelsea Green because I was like, you know what? If I'm going to win it off a ladder match, then so be it.
Chelsea deserved this more.
I actually did want Chelsea Green to win, and she did deserve this more than anybody.
Yeah, even Phil got it right too with Chelsea. Yep. But Tyrus here, Lash is that diva that is too safe to use her power. Remember Royal Rumble? They had her as the Iron Woman, and ever since then, she got less interesting. Agree.
Yeah, but that she was tag team with Nia Jax, and
I enjoyed the tag team with Nia, but she just needs to improve.
The tag team part didn't work because this whole time she could have improved herself.
Yeah, you're right. She should have been more than ready for this opportunity working with somebody that's established like Nia. I agree.
Yeah.
But we'll let you cover, or, I'll cover this one. I'll let you do the main event. I'll be nice. All right, moving on to the next match here. Probably one of the worst matches of the entire SummerSlam card. We had a Human Monies on a pole match. Dirty Dominic Mysterio, your AAA champion, versus Danhausen. And before I do review this match, I think this is a conversation that we do need to have here, because a lot of people now are starting to get fatigued of the Danhausen thing. And I want to know where you stand with Danhausen right now. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like they're overbooking him? Are you feeling the fatigue, or do you feel like we still need more Danhausen, or what we're getting right now is good?
No, I think they can only improve, to be honest. I think he should be in more serious matches. But no, I'm not sick of Danhausen at all. I like that he has his own ice cream truck. Every segment he has is hilarious, so he's still bringing it. He's still bringing the A material. Am I saying this just so I'm not cursed? No. Like, I thoroughly believe that Danhausen is hilarious, and I really do kick myself in the face by thinking, like, damn, this guy was in AEW for the longest time, and I never watched him, and now he's in WWE, and he is just like all over, and I'm happy for it. So I'm just kind of making up the time for me not watching him in AEW,
Oh, the Hookhausen stuff was great when he first started in AEW, but getting into his WWE run, I think the IWC is just over-exaggerating, overreacting about this like they do most of the time. I just think that
so much.
You need to just sometimes take a deep breath and just remember, this is supposed to be fun. It's funny. And I think a lot of people just overanalyze it. They overlook it. Yes, I don't like that Dirty Dom got buried here in this match. He's a AAA champion. I don't think he should be wrestling a guy like Danhausen, but like JD McDonough, like this would have been perfect for somebody like JD to go in there with Danhausen. JD McBighead, yes.
Yes.
But with Danhausen, I think that, like, this is the comedy we do need in WWE. Yes, maybe they are overbooking it sometimes, and I think there is a saying in life, less is more, and I think Danhausen does better when less is more for him. Like the Joe Hendry and Danhausen concert that a lot of people have been critiquing within the last couple weeks. I enjoyed the Midi-Hausens. I enjoyed all of it, except for the Ryan Garcia appearance and also the cheerleaders. I think that was just unnecessary. We didn't need to have football cheerleaders dressed up as Danhausen. We didn't need that during that concert. That was a little too much, I think.
My only thought about this match for SummerSlam was, where was Kit Wilson? Where was Kit Wilson in The Miz?
I don't know. They have been in his laboratory, freaking getting their brains sucked in or something.
I don't know.
But Danhausen, I think, they do have to make a decision, Raw or SmackDown. I think putting him on both shows with 3 to 4 segments each time, that's not helping with the fatigue, because eventually you are going to run out of ideas. Yep. And I feel like Danhausen, right now, he is pretty much printing TKO a lot of human money here. So, they do not want to overuse him, and then a year from now, they get so sick of him that they have no other choice but to release him. If you do it right, you're golden. And I think Danhausen, there's been a lot of times where they have done it right. But I think the IWC, though, is exaggerating just a little too much because they don't like TKO. They don't like the direction that WWE has been going in. And I think they're blaming, they're trying to, use Danhausen as that scapegoat and use Danhausen as somebody to blame for the changes when that's far from the case.
Yeah. If you ask what I'm thinking, don't see. I'm not seeing any fatigue within myself. Like I just think
I'm not sick of it.
IWC is so like
but
needy
maybe
at times.
Yeah, but maybe I'm not maybe I'm not fatigued of it because I've been a big fan of his going all the way back to Ring of Honor, even before AEW. Like I watched his stuff on the Indies,
and he does
so I can be
a
biased.
YouTube channel. He does a toy channels too on YouTube.
I love his channel.
When he goes around like to different stores with Ethan Page, I think those two hilarious.
Oh, it's great stuff.
It's hilarious.
And I've been watching
so
those
much good.
for years, even before Danhausen got his first contract, which is nuts to think about.
I just recently found them. Dude,
go watch. I'll tell you right now, fans will not be fatigued of Danhausen once we get him and CM Punk on TV, because the stuff, if you go to their YouTube, if you go to Danhausen's YouTube channel, I highly recommend any We Are Wrestling Maniac who is here live with us or listening to this, wherever they get their podcast, go watch CM Punk and Danhausen. I'm telling you right now, you will not regret it, and you probably will right now be sending letters to Stamford, Connecticut, telling Triple H to book Danhausen with CM Punk.
They're good friends in real life, too.
They are best friends. CM Punk was vouching for
WWE to
sign
Pepsi Phil. Yeah. I said it because he had the Pepsi logo on his shoulder. Yeah, that's it.
But I do think
Pepsi Phil, yeah.
But I do think that, like, they do have to be careful with Danhausen. And I hope that they figure it out sooner rather than later. But I'm not fatigued of him right now, and I think they are over-exaggerating, and I'm glad you agree.
You got to take the IWC with a grain of salt with really anything.
Every
to
time.
be quite honest. Every time, yeah.
Agree.
So
but getting into this match now, Human Money's on a poll. Still want to know what Vince Russo thinks of it. We had really nothing crazy, nothing special here. A couple fun spots. JD helping Dirty Dom, attack Danhausen. But then we got the little bitty Hausens beating the crap out of JD. And then JD getting his big man moment here. Whoop. That was the wrong thing. JD getting his big guy moment here with the choke slams. And El Torito Hausen giving him a big tornado DDT. And then also we got Joe Hendry coming out, which I thought was a cool spot. Because I kind of hope, like, him and Danhausen, I think that it would be cool for them to, like, team up together and maybe possibly win, like, tag titles. I think that they'd be a fun comedy team.
And I had to look into it too, but I think if you guys know the little person comedian Brad Williams, Brad Williams.
Somebody I read something.
I think he mentioned in an interview years ago saying he wanted to be a Minihausen. I think he was one of the Minihausens at SummerSlam.
He was.
So stand-up comedian, little person.
But then of course Danhausen does the "You Are Cursed," the Dom with the pyro going off. I got a laugh out of that. And then Danhausen gets the Human Buddies, and now we can finally move on from this long-lasting, horrible feud.
I think they'll go right back to him working with Kit Wilson and The Miz, trying to maybe finish that story or that angle, and then we'll see.
I kind of want Danhausen to work with Matt Cardona as well, like maybe teaming with him.
Yeah.
I kind of want Matt Cardona, like, we got to get him to turn heel already, and I feel like there's no better way for somebody to turn heel than attack Danhausen. Like, he could tease, like, Zack Ryder coming back, because that's been the whole thing with him and Danhausen. Yeah. And then right before we're going to get there, have Matt attack Danhausen and bring back the Indie God, bring back the Deathmatch King, bring back the old Matt Cardona.
It's funny, too, because Matt Cardona and Danhausen are friends in real life, too. Like, he's part of, all of his toy channels, too. So.
Yep, he is. All right, well, getting into the next match, I'll cover this one. For the Intercontinental Championship, the hometown hero, Chad Gable, goes against Penta, which, oh, man, both of their gears, I hope WWE Mattel makes figures out of them.
Dude,
so
I wanted to buy Penta's gear that day, dude. It is so sick.
It is sick.
Oh, my God.
But, of course, we start off with the handshake, which I like. There was no dirty spots. There was no interference. Just a solid, good wrestling match. And I think that this was one of the better matches of the entire card here. Just overall, Gable finally getting the moment that he deserves. Penta, I think, did his job perfect here. And I thought the ending was perfect, very
Yeah.
predictable, but perfect. And this is something that has been long overdue. And you see,
Very long overdue.
It wouldn't have been as predictable if WWE didn't book Gable to always lose when he got to this opportunity or moment. So I think that that's why it was so predictable, because it was like, all right, it's like about time that like he gets a ring already, he gets his championship. And I like the way that they did it, Penta putting him over at the end.
Yeah.
And this was just overall a feel-good moment. And with SummerSlam, like, you want to have those feel-good moments. And I think night one, like, that feel-good was missing. And I think
thank God he chose this
Gable
picture.
getting this moment, love it, because there's this cool meme. I don't have the picture here with me, but there's Chad Gable's daughter when he lost, I think it was to Gunter for the Intercontinental title. She was bawling her eyes out, and then you have her reaction smiling in the crowd. That was a cool, like, wholesome moment right there.
I was hoping you didn't have it, the picture when he was hanging out with the mug mascot, mug root beer mascot.
Yeah,
I was hoping you
that.
don't have the
Fuck
picture.
that.
Okay,
I'm gonna pretend
thank
that
God.
never existed.
Yeah, that was my only critique about this match was the very end. I'm so happy for Chad Gable.
Stupid
And
advertisement.
for having Penta be the one putting over Chad Gable, it just solidifies as Penta is one of my favorites, dude. Like, he's so fucking cool. I
And
wish
you
I
see,
could
that's
meet
the
him
thing
in
about like
real life someday.
luchadors. That's the thing about luchadors and like international wrestlers. Like, they could be successful in WWE if you utilize and you book them right. Penta, they have not changed anything about him outside of AEW or the independent circuit or Lucha Underground. He is still the same guy. And that's why Penta is so over with the crowd, because they didn't change anything about him. His in-ring abilities are still the same to a degree. The mask, the aura, the walk, everything about it is the same.
He's one of those guys where I don't want to see him as a heel, but he could pull off it being as a heel. But he's the type of guy that even if he were a heel at the very end of the match or the feud or whatever, he would still walk up to the other guy and say, like, show respect, like shake his hand or something like that. That's Penta. Like, he is just down the earth guy. And I hopefully I can meet him one day because he's really cool.
He is
but going back to Chad Gable real quick. He not only deserved this title because of his storyline with El Grande Americano and never owning a singles title in WWE, his longest title reign in WWE was being Speed Champion, and that was 190 days.
Doesn't count.
That was his last title.
Doesn't count. We're going to pretend that doesn't exist, like that root beer guy. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the main event now. Oh, this was a classic. Instant classic. Let's talk about it.
We can tackle this together. We'll tackle
it. All right, our main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Seth friggin' Rollins versus his brother, Roman Reigns.
His big brother.
I am so happy no bloodline got involved. I'm so happy that this was a clean fight with one of the best stories being told. With bringing in the chair, this was just so good. Like, okay, the one thing I didn't like, I will say, was them going into the crowd, because this wasn't a no disqualification.
Yeah, I was like,
what?
No DQ now?
So the referee, like, this was more than a 10 count. But then again, AEW will get called out for it, but will not call out WWE when they do it. Like, I do like that the announcer did say, okay, they're giving them leeway or whatever, but still at the same time, there's a count out. That's my only little tiny critique about this match. Besides that, loved everything about this.
Dude, I wanted to pause the match midway, grab some popcorn, and then come back and finish the match, but it was live, so I couldn't do that. This match was just peak cinema, dude. It was everything we wanted, except Dean Ambrose actually showing up. And they focused on the Shield angle. They focused on their matches together. They talked about WrestleMania 40, about how Seth Rollins was able to, make Roman Reigns lose. So he's always had the one up on him. This was Roman Reigns. This is basically Roman Reigns' title reign put into one match, because he exercised a huge demon that he's had his entire career in Seth freaking Rollins. Because, like, Roman was right. Like Seth has always had his number, or Seth said this. Seth was right. He's always had Roman's number, and he's never been able to beat him. So
Good story.
good story. The little Easter eggs, like if the non-casual fan picked up about when Seth came out with the mask that was supposed to represent Dean Ambrose, and they did it later on at the end of the match, like just when you can put on such a fucking great match, 33 minutes nonetheless, and have the entire match explained in one picture frame, you're done. Like that, you cooked. Like that was a match, one of the matches of the year, to be honest. That's number 2 for me.
This just tells me how great Seth Rollins is, because the dude really can't have a bad match with anybody.
No, people give him a lot of crap, and Roman Reigns did point it out, and they were facts, saying that he needed to have a Money in the Bank in order to get a championship. He would hold the title, then get injured. Like those were actual facts, and they used it as an angle in their promos. And like I said, this was the most built up story of the whole entire card. And to be honest, they didn't do a whole lot because the history was there, but they redeemed themselves.
And this is what Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton should have done
This
match at
is what should have been in WrestleMania. Yes. They explained this story when they didn't have to, because their history was there, and they redeemed themselves by explaining the story and their feud for the casual fan because of things like you said, Donnie, with the whole Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton WrestleMania match. They could have done so much better with that one, that they redeemed themselves with this one. And that they did, the fact that they did, it was just, I want to watch it over again. It was so good.
This is a match that I will be watching over and over again. This really made my Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Roman and Seth proving why they are easily first-class Hall of Famers.
Yep.
I just enjoyed this from start to finish. Like, this was so enjoyable to watch. And I don't get that a lot when I tune into WWE premium live events. I don't get that feeling. But I did in this match. This felt like a big PLE main event. And sometimes I get fatigued with Seth Rollins' character. But matches like this remind me why I love Rollins. And Roman Reigns, of course. And I love how different this title run is for Roman than his Universal Championship run. Undisputed title. And I really like that it's different, because Roman working these matches without the help of the Bloodline, winning clean, it proves that Roman can work both good guy and bad guy. And when you're talking about GOAT status in professional wrestling, if you're able to work both, you are easily considered one of the greats. And I think that when it's all said and done, this is a conversation I think some people are a little bit not ready to talk about yet. But you know what? I'm going to manifest it, and I'm going to bring up the conversation, because on Eric Bischoff's podcast, 83 Weeks with Conrad Thompson,
I thought you were going to bring this up.
We posted a clip over on the We Are Wrestling socials, and Conrad made a hot take saying that Roman Reigns, he thinks, is one of the most overrated main event guys in WWE. And I have to really disagree with him, because if you could work as a top bad guy and hold the title for 1,300 days, and you could also work as a good guy and still have these marquee matches, you have to also consider, too, during the Big Dog era of WWE, when the Shield broke up and Vince was trying to shove Roman down our throats, Roman was one of the most hated fucking wrestlers in our generation. But then, during the Thunderdome era, we get this new character. We get the Tribal Chief. We get the Bloodline. Yeah. And everything has changed. He went from being, and you love sports, and I'm going to use a sports reference.
Do it.
He went from being a first overall draft pick that a team selects and they get labeled a bust. Because the general manager, the
Josh
chairman,
Rosen.
Vince McMahon saw lots of potential in Roman, and that's why he tried shoving him down our throats. But you know what? Doing that, it was labeling Roman Reigns as a bust. But then, now, with all this time, all this experience, all those main events, all these opportunities, Roman is proven to be that number one pick that is winning you multiple championships, leading you to the promised land. You're building a dynasty with Roman here.
Yeah.
And that's why I cannot say Roman is one of the most overrated main event WWE guys they have. Because I think when it's all said and done, when Roman hangs up those boots and he puts the gauntlet away, he is going to be in those GOAT conversations. And I think it's going to be an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people in the IWC. But I think Roman is there.
He's been in
Whether
the GOAT
you
conversation
love or you
for
hate
years. I've always loved Roman Reigns. I don't know why people hated him so much. I don't think he was shoved down our throats. And I'm not going to be thinking of that moment for right now. So thanks a lot, Donnie. But as far as the hot take that the guy had, that's why I was such a hater for the Busted Open radio, because they would have this hot takes and then they would get so much, social media attention and, that's what people were all talking about. And I'm like, where is this guy coming up with this stuff? Like, they're just saying stuff to get famous, or get, a viral moment. I think that was one of them, because I honestly disagree. I can't see Roman Reigns as, an overrated main eventer. I disagree, especially now that they're, basically righting their wrongs with what they were doing with this title reigns. And like how I was saying earlier, with every match that he's had, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, I'm trying to think of another one.
He's a box.
Jacob Fatu. Like, he's a box office. They're, he's exercising his demons, like he's proving himself that he was worthy of that, over a 1,300 day, title reign. He is the needle mover. He is the OTC. He is everything that he claims to be, and like, now my tribal chief. He is proving what he says on the mic. Like, there is no doubt in my mind. Like, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer when he finally does hang up the boots. And the fact that people are still hating on Roman Reigns are just haters.
I just think when it's all said and done, Roman's in these conversations, because if you want to be considered a GOAT, the greatest of all time, at least in professional wrestling or sports entertainment, I think you have to be able to work as a good guy and a bad guy. Hulk Hogan, the reason why he is always in those conversations no matter what is because, yes, he did the say your prayers, eat your vitamins, but in WCW, when people were getting sick of the whole good guy, he became Hollywood Hulk Hogan and reinvented himself and got him to that GOAT status.
Speaking of Hulk Hogan.
The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. The dude can work as the biggest asshole in the world, or he can work as the most loved person in the world. Yeah. John Cena, he was able to be the childhood hero. He was able to be Super Cena. But then at the same time, he was able to do the thugonomics. So when it's all said and done, like, if you're able to work as a solid heel, as a solid face, you're in those GOAT conversations no matter what. Randy Orton, a lot of people put him in those conversations. Brock Lesnar, people put him in there. Undertaker. And I think Roman Reigns, when it's all said and done, people are going to have to consider him one of the GOATs when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And I think SummerSlam, this is going to be a moment that we're going to be talking about for the next 30 to 40 years.
People are going to have to eat their words, swallow their pride. Like, I can't say anything else, because you literally just said it, Donnie. There, people are going to be rewatching this match for years, because this is one of the matches that is going to solidify his greatness. He's had plenty of matches there before,
match here
when he was whole feuding with Brock Lesnar, and when he finally, buried the beast by standing on top of him and full of, like, all those tables and chairs, and he had the Usos as help, but nonetheless, that was one of those great moments of his career too. This is just going to be one of those other big ones that people are going to look back on.
I 1000% agree. But Roman Reigns, man, one of the GOATs. SummerSlam Night 2, I think I gave it a solid 9.5 out of 10. And I think a lot of it was the only reasons for me was Danhausen and Dom match, and also all the ads.
I don't think the ads were as bad as WrestleMania, though.
Yeah, Night 2 was...
Night 2, yeah. Maybe
wasn't bad. Night 1 was horrible with ads for WrestleMania. And
I think my favorite part about this Roman Reigns match is it was just cherry on top, because I was just sitting there with my feet kicked up, knowing that I already won the title. I was just enjoying the match.
I love that. But we'll go over the scores real quick here. So for night 2, Old School Phil went 5 for 6. Ricky Knows Best went 3 for 6, which Phil ended up winning the championship 10-6. And then for night 2, Dan Eddy went 4 for 6. Danny went 3 for 6. And I went 3 for 6 as well. And that's what got Dan Eddy the win with the We Are Wrestling World's Predictions Champion. So congratulations once again, man. On winning the championship.
Thanks, man.
And congratulations to Old School Phil as well. And next week, you guys will find out who is the #1 contender for Old School Phil's championship. So stay tuned for episode 221. But I hope you guys did enjoy this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Podcast. It was a long one. If you did, smash that like button now. Hype this up. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, get already over on the YouTube channel where you get the best premiere content. You get these episodes live every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. You get live watch-alongs for all the WWE PLEs, AEW pay-per-views, reactions, vlogs, so much wrestling content. We recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, never miss an upload. Go follow We Are Wrestling over on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. We did really good numbers throughout the entire SummerSlam weekend. So once again, I want to thank all you We Are Wrestling Maniacs who are listening, who are watching, for making this a very successful weekend. We did some crazy numbers on the reactions, crazy numbers on the live streams, and even crazy numbers on the social media posts. So thank you. If you're listening to this wherever you get your podcast, leave us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download this episode. Give us a follow. Links down in the description box below. You can go follow Dan Eddy over on his social medias. It is down there. And if you guys are into wrestling figures and nostalgia stuff, you can go check out my page, Best One Donnie. I'm posting almost every day new content on there. I even do a studio update every week with weekly purchases and showing changes that are in my studio. Also have a basketball channel, DBTV. If you're into Brooklyn Nets, go check that out. Link is down below. All the links are there. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are. Take it over. Peace. Also, Rage Circus is coming back next week on the show. Let's freaking go.